Stevenson, you're a superstar.
But you gotta wait for that paycheck. That paycheck ain't there. The Shakur paycheck and the Tank paycheck is two different paychecks, bro.
I'm 100%. I know that, but I'm just saying, a fighter like Frank Martin is 28 years old, and he turned down a shot at the WBC title for a couple dollars.
And look at this D1. See, look how it played out.
That's. I know. I hear it. I hear
because
you. But to me,
no, not on Frank's side. Because look at what Frank did. Frank, of course, he had an opportunity with Tank. I'm sure they probably told him about the Tank fight or whatever. But my whole thing is this. Yeah, of course, it was on a top ranked show, so they're gonna favor Shakur. But Frank would have had an injured Shakur. So so you see what I'm saying? You see how when you make a decision like that, De Los Santos didn't take advantage of it. But
you're right. He probably could have won that fight.
You see what I'm saying?
Would have came out on the upside. That's why you take title shots. You never know.
Yep.
Yeah, but it wasn't funny. You making a big bag.
What up, Senior?
Lost in the South Senior Cars, my main man right there. 50 grand.
I'd have turned down that fight too.
I'm old school. These guys got to fight 4 times a year.
See, this is the problem, though,
Senior. You don't know you're getting that Tank fight. He didn't know when he turned that fight down he was getting Tank fight. That shit all came afterwards.
Guess what he know now? He got that Tank fight.
I hear you. I hear it. But he going to go to sleep.
With some back,
79.
You know you're going to sleep. You're getting knocked out. And you're not going to be a champion. Shakur, you can actually win that fight.
Well, pay me to go to sleep. I'm sorry. I like a sleep study. I like sleep study.
I'm ruling boxing. I'm blazing my own trail, but I'm different, so I get why.
I can dig it. I can dig it what you're saying. But you talking about guys that ain't never had nothing, man. And I agree with you. He should have.
Guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. Somebody mic is funky, right?
Crazy. It sounds crazy.
Somebody chewing on tinfoil.
Hey, but Jay, I wanted to say this. I agree with both my logics right now, but the problem that I have with him is that he came out and he kind of lambasted Shakur for not taking the Devin fight. And then he had found himself in that same predicament, and then he didn't take the fight. Shakur wasn't not exactly the same, but it was similar, where he could have taken the fight.
Listen, hold on. Can I take this one, Jay?
Take that one.
We just opinionated niggas on YouTube. We have no insight in the business and what paperwork takes place. I want y'all to stop the bullshit. Y'all don't know what we talk about behind the scenes. If he's the PBC guy and he's an Al guy, it's some kind of conversation like, you know what? You don't gotta go over there to the other network. I'm gonna get you right. You gonna get some back end bread, and whether whether you win or lose, you gonna be all right, my nigga. Cause he black. His main guy is a black dude. I'm gonna take care of you, bro. I'm gonna put you in a better position than going over there with the slave owner who don't have no vested interest in you. I'm gonna take
views of the panel is not the views of the hardcore hangout.
This is
not the views of the JBT network.
This is the view of Let's Talk Fashion, the casual king.
Casual.
I'm just saying, like, why would I take less? Why would I take less in that situation? There's no back end. There's never been no back end with Shakur. There's back end coming with Tank. You know that for a fact. These dudes was in New York and struggled to sell tickets up to the last day. Them shits is pretty much gone in the first day and a half. You know it's going to be crazy.
And that's why I said,
are they gone? If he get his brains beat out, guess what? He got a little bit more money to take care of it than he would have had over there.
We got a new person. We got a new person in the building. Y'all know I love my new people. We got Vella Beauty.
Good morning.
We want to welcome Vella Beauty to the Hardcore Hangout. Hey, Vella, we're just a bunch of hardcore degenerates to get together, talk about this beautiful sport we love called boxing. Got only one rule around here, Vella. No hitting below the belt. I mean, we don't talk about nobody's mom up in here. Other than that, we want to welcome Vella Beauty to the Hardcore Hangout. We love it when the women come in the building. We appreciate you for being here, good sis. I hope you stay around. Y'all make sure that y'all give Vella a good hardcore and welcome. Let her know that she's on the best morning show in boxing, y'all. Commence, fellas.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning indeed. It's a beautiful day. Come on, Vella. You can join the panel too.
Happy Friday.
Shout out to my guy, Pugilism, too. He in the building, man. I agree with what you say, too. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to take this conversation left like that, but
no, I didn't go left.
Hey, Remo, you know good and well that if Frank put up a good effort, the people are gonna give him credit for even. See, in boxing, you get credit for even being mentioned with Tank, let alone fighting him. So all these guys' stock is being boosted. So Frank is actually I agree. I think this 100%. If Frank would have went in there with Shakur and got 10-2, he wouldn't be getting a Tank fight. So, I mean, he just took that. He took the right. I think he made the right decision at this point. For me personally, I think for him he made the right decision because there's no guarantee that Shakur wouldn't tend to him or make him hesitate like he made Edwin hesitate. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Frank and Edwin probably right neck and neck same level. I think Edwin may even have a little bit more pop than Frank. Because when I seen the Artem fight with Frank, Artem was all up in Frank's chest.
I'm about to say, be mindful of what you say, but go ahead.
He's a tough dude.
Right.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah, I was worried. Hey, hold on. My day one is in the building, man. First person in the Hangout ever. Fat Steel is in the building. Salute to you, Fat Steel. He said you cannot duck Shakur and fight Tank. Tougher and bigger fight.
That's a fact. He's tough. Listen, either I get what you're saying. That shit sound good, right? But because you just became my new arch nemesis. I was looking for one.
You've been arch nemesis and people up, dog.
Right.
Coach Eddie was my arch nemesis, but B3, you back on the docket, my brother.
I miss B3. I miss you. I was talking about yesterday. I miss B3, man, and he pop up today, man. I'm glad he in the building.
Hey, listen, Jack.
B3. See, you're terrible. Listen, B3. You gotta take off the fandom of boxing. Forget boxing. Boxing is a sport, just like every other sport, right? Hold on, let me turn on my camera for this shit, because y'all getting me tight.
Let's see if he got the safety jacket on. See, he got the safety jacket on. I told you he ain't got no job. He ain't got no job.
He off today. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, boy over there by the curtains.
Listen here.
Yeah, over by the curtains, chilling.
How things really go, right? If Frank pump fakes with Shakur, whatever you want to call it, right? His stock drops all the way. If he looks halfway decent against Tank, his stock rises.
Yeah.
If he gets knocked out in the late rounds, but he gives up a good fight 1 through 8, 9, 10, his stock rises. Remember, it's only one person, two people that you think is the max A-listers, A-plus fighters in the sport. I keep saying that these kids have not identified who they are in the division yet. So if anybody's view is Tank is the creme of the top, and Frank puts up a good fight, he's good to fight everywhere else below.
Yeah, you guys made great points. You're right. It's the right decision, but
it definitely was.
The fighter in my heart says that he should have took that fight.
Hell no.
Listen, bro. Hold on. You don't know what's guaranteed tomorrow. Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Nobody knows.
D1. What you can't miscalculate in just real life situations is Frank is not a young kid.
That's why I'm saying that. I'm 28.
Exactly. The Tank situation is the better situation because they don't know time to rebuild on Shakur back. By the time he fights Shakur and he doesn't look like what we thought he would look like, and Shakur pity pat him to death and 10-10 to him.
Yeah.
It's a 2-3 year window for him to build himself back. He's 31. It's over.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And you can come out and look subpar against Tank and still become a superstar. Everybody wants to fight you in the division. I'm just saying, the fighter in my heart says he should have took that. And there, you don't know what tomorrow is, but y'all right. Y'all got that one.
Yeah, right. I mean,
hold on. D1, man, I'm loving this zen you got.
Yeah, well,
man, shout out to D1, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. D1 has been in the JBT therapy program. You know what I'm saying? and he has been doing very well. And I just want to say, you got to commend people with their growth, man. So congratulations, D1. Keep up with the good work, my guy.
Thank you.
I got my brother on the big screen. Early in the morning. Early in the morning.
There we go.
That just wasn't an asinine enough topic for him to get riled up over. But you would have heard him with some bullets. It wouldn't have mattered. He would have let it. He would have let it blow.
No, I done seen him when he gets riled up. Now he'll just leave. So
he'll definitely leave. Yeah.
So he's getting better, man. He's getting better, man.
White people don't know how
that's my guy right there.
Say, yo, you know what?
White people don't know how to just walk away. If he just leaving, he might be going to build a bomb or something.
Hey, what's the words on here, singing?
My bad.
That's the king right there. That's the king right there. But yeah, I was only speaking it from the standpoint because I mean, it is a much better situation for him. Let's not make no mistakes about it. It is a much better situation for him to undertake a fight with Tank as opposed to one with Shakur. I'm just saying, you went publicly speaking on a situation where somebody felt like they got less money and they didn't get the money that they deserved, and they should have took the fight, and then you get put in the same predicament, and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna pass.
But he spoke on that though. He spoke on that though. And he did say, like, you know what I mean? It was put in the air.
But why couldn't they just give him the little You know what I mean? The little he was asking for. He said, I needed a little
I thought he said, he needed a little
he didn't say he said
Like
ERGH. I was like, what the fuck? I need a What? No, I never heard nobody say that before in fucking life. And now you're talking about it with a prize fight. Fuck out of here, Frank.
He ain't give it, but that promoter ain't willing to give that little or the whatever
the
word is.
The ERGH maybe.
I guess he was talking amongst family and they understood what he was talking about when he said that.
Indiana shit or wherever he's from.
Yeah. By the way, what about Lomachenko and Kambosos, fellas? How y'all doing?
Yeah. What about it? What about it?
Hey, it's gonna be a good fight, man.
It's gonna be a good as long as it lasts. Hey,
as long as it lasts, right?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I think George has that will. See, people, I watched the Teofimo fight earlier today too. This morning I was up this morning. George,
did y'all
we know
the Teofimo fight? Did y'all think Kambosos really won that fight?
Was B3 not talking?
My bad.
Nobody care about B3.
Jay, my big brother, my big homie. He got to make sure people don't walk over me. Good.
It's too easy.
Because you was MIA for about a couple of weeks.
Hey,
I told him he could come back.
We was recovering. We had a broken jaw. You know what I'm saying? We had to heal up. Nah, I'm joking.
Senior said I told him he could come back.
Oh my goodness. All right, B3, go ahead and commence, bro.
No, it's just George, you gonna have to pretty much kill George. George has a different type of will. He has like Villa, like Barrios. You can hit them with the kitchen sink, and you ain't gonna find no quit in them.
Who we talking about?
Loma can use his ankles, footwork.
Kambosos ain't no quitter. That boy fights.
I just the will of Kambosos.
No. I didn't ask you about nothing. I said, who did you compare to Villa?
Kambosos.
Get the fuck
He talking about the Greek warrior.
Yeah,
the legend of Sparta.
About that grit, man, that determination, that you ain't about to quit. You got to break them down.
Right there.
Yeah, if you man, listen, man. See, y'all got a lot of disrespect for Kambosos. I'm gonna put it like this.
You got too much
Uh-oh.
respect.
Kambosos,
I
Uh-oh.
know where it's
listen.
coming from. I know where it's coming from though. But go ahead, get your
No, it's
shit off.
not
Go
that,
ahead,
bro.
go
I'm just
ahead,
saying it don't
B3
make.
Cook.
Let me tell you why it don't make sense.
You about to go to
This
Australia, B3?
this brother came from Australia. He is literally the best fighter in and around his weight class in a whole country that made it to world level. But y'all gonna sit up here and call him a tomato can or say he ain't shit.
You right.
That mean you a casual. You don't know nothing about boxing.
How long have you known
No.
Kambosos, B3?
Ooh.
I listen.
The
I
How long
Mickey
seen
have you
I
Bay,
known
seen him I
Kambosos?
seen him drop I seen him whipping on
Maxi Hughes.
I seen him whipping on Tiafimo ass.
No, I said, how
You
long have
seen
you
him whooping on Maxie?
before the T.O. fight?
Maxie a style matchup. He was kind of he was moving and stuff. But see the thing
He
see that's
asked you a
not the
question though.
point. See Maxie was
But
the IBO champ. See we still a little lost in the sauce. Y'all not getting the picture here.
B3
Kambosos is
cooking.
literally one of the at the top in and around his
Jada?
weight class. He's not no can.
I'm just
So
waiting
like I
for
said
my answer.
before, I ain't say he was the most skilled. I just said in order to beat him, you gonna have to break him. He not gonna quit.
Cap,
Who, Maxie?
Cap.
Neither
I
one.
talk.
I mean, Maxie got overwhelmed. I'm talking about Kambosos.
Can I get a cap break? Right? Can I get a cap break real quick,
Can I call Cap?
Not a cap break. Okay, go ahead, cap
bro?
break. Cap break, go ahead.
Listen, B3. I get it. Why you defending this point, right? But other than the best night of his life, like he got after that day, he felt that he did it all. But prior to that day, he ain't really do it all. In your mind, because your man beat him up and he traveled 16 hours, that's why you're giving him the credit. But other than that fight, if he didn't fight Devin and Devin didn't go over there for the trip, you would be like, yo, this dude is a cold blood.
Facts.
Let's keep it
Nah,
real.
D1. Nah, D1. I got this
Hold
point.
on.
I ain't mean to cut nobody off. I did, but D1.
Oh, yeah,
What's
you
the
did.
worst style in boxing?
You talking
I
about
didn't
me
mean
to
to
cut
cut him off, but
nobody
I
off.
did.
What's the worst style in boxing?
The
What's the
worst
What's the
style?
worst style that y'all was clowning for years? The awful style nobody wants to watch.
Pure boxing. Jab. The
Jab
pure
and
boxer.
grab, jab and grab,
Yeah.
and
Pure
see,
boxer.
and Devin had to change his style because he was doing that. Kambosos had to deal with that for 2 fights. So you got, and in the second fight he was getting cracked with that right hand over the top. You see what I'm saying? He stood in there with Tiafimo. Y'all not giving this brother no type of credit.
Who?
Hey,
Which
hey,
one?
hey,
I
hey,
think
hey, hey.
Bozo, it goes all 12. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight of the year candidate too.
I got Loma by embarrassment.
Oh my God. Hey, we got the boxing source says Kambosos had split decisions against Lee Selby and Mickey Bay.
Facts.
But shout out to my man Boxing Source, because he at the train station right now on his way to Philadelphia covering the fight, because that's what we do. We cover the fights. So shout out to the Boxing Source on his way up to the fight. And I see you up there, my guy. I see you up there, Jay. Appreciate you, man. Because we're going to cover the fight, the press conference today and bring our people back good information.
Hey Jay, I just think it's real I think it's real disrespectful. And I just want to ask the panel this, and I don't mean no disrespect when I say this.
When people say that, you know what that means.
Let me just say, can y'all count? Can I get at least between 130 at 135? Can we name 5 white boys or between 140 and 130 that's at world level?
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point, D1. You can't disrespect Kambosos.
Loma.
One. Okay. Who?
Nakatani.
I don't know. No,
I'm just fucking around. I'm fucking around because he's right. He brings up a good point. I think Kambosos is a good fighter.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. We want to give credit because he a white boy. Come on now, what are we talking about?
But he's competing.
I give him less credit for that.
If you get beat by if you get beat,
don't do it, B3.
But my whole thing, Jay, is if you're competing with Tiafimo and Devin and you ain't duck no smoke, you said, yep, Let's run that back. And he actually had a better fight in the second fight. He was cracking Devin with a lot of shots.
Be clear, he didn't.
B3.
He didn't compete with Devin at all.
What are we talking about, B3? Because he's a white boy.
Devin tatted that boy up,
what,
man.
What are you talking about, man?
A non-puncher tatted him up.
Yo, B3. Have you ever seen white people
Is
do
T.O.
the electric
puncher?
slide?
Yo, what's up with the white people
That's
stuff,
crazy.
man? Y'all see white people?
I give him less credit.
I'm not
for
what I'm
for
on, but we
being a white
easily
boy.
discredit. We easily discredit.
Oh,
It's too easy because what I'm saying is we done never heard about this dude. And yes, he did have 2 split decisions with Lee Selby and Mickey Bay. But people Mickey Bay was on a layoff, but we still gonna discredit it. He dropped Mickey Bay.
B3 has Montana love about that white boy.
No.
I tell y'all what. I tell you. Hold on, y'all. It's 9:57. It's a good conversation. I'm not going to shut the thing down because we're going to cook some more. But I got to get ready. I'm going to let y'all keep on cooking. We're going to turn this to a road show, and we're going to keep it going, all right?
Let's get it.
Let's do that, man. All right.
Hey,
listen here. Hey, G Peasy, I'm going to leave you in charge, man. I need you to keep these boys together.
All right. First thing first, though, we're going to stop the black and white thing. We're going to stop the black and white thing first. And we can carry on.
Yeah, but
I'm with that. I'm done with that. Ain't even my point, GP. My point is that I don't know why this dude getting easily discredited. I mean, we can see that a lot of these guys, they not built with a whole. You see, people getting on Frank Martin for even having muscles. These guys, some of these guys, they're not built all big and strong and fast and and power. But what they do have, they have will and determination. You got to give them credit for that. If you a grown man and you in here fighting and nobody has broken your will, and then you make it to world level, I gotta put respect on your name.
Facts.
It's just that simple. Nobody's breaking his will. I want to see Loma stop him. Let Loma stop him and retire him, and then we can say, okay, he met his match. But nobody doing that, and he then came over to the States.
He definitely got heart, and he definitely
even
goes
traveled
out on his shield. He'll fight to the death, and nobody stopped him or even had him close to being stopped. I mean, Tio knocked him down a little bit.
That's my whole point, man. We got to get his brother.
Kambosos can fight a little bit. He's not going to get stopped. I don't think so. I think
I'm not saying he wanted the best. I'm not saying he wanted the best. I'm just saying that he's definitely on that level. He's definitely competing at the world level.
Top 10, lightweight, 135. Kambosos is top 10.
All right, yo, hold on. Can we go down the list, though? Go down the list of that division and tell me who y'all confidently think
Tank.
No.
Hey, but hold on, guys. Hold on. Of course, Tank. But can I? You said who he beat?
Hold up.
B3. Let me get this off. Confidently, whoever's on the panel could let me know who y'all have confidence in the top 10 or whatever y'all want to say that George Kambosos will beat in that top 10.
He'll give every one of them a fight.
I didn't say a fight. I said who would he beat?
It's hard to say, Remo. That's hard. But I already gave you one name. Who was it? I think I got him beating Baranchik.
Ain't on the top 10, but
I think he was like top 10 in the ring or something like that. I didn't see his name.
Yo, GP, you understand what I'm saying? I'm asking confidently. Where it's not going to be a question mark. It's not going to be a great fight. I just think he's not of the ilk. If you want to say there's A-class fighters, there's B-class. Haney said that Ryan was a C-class. So what does that make this dude?
Yeah, you're right. Who does Loma confidently beat? I don't think Loma beats Frank Martin right now. I don't think Loma beats a lot of the guys.
He confidently beats Kambosos. He confidently stops.
No question.
I think it's going to be a great fight, though. It's going to be more competitive than everybody thinks. He's going to get some shit off on him.
I hope so.
It's going to be a great fight, from what I
because as the boxing source pointed out, Lee Selby was like 37 years old dang near, coming off a 4.5-year layoff.
Yeah, but what's he beat him? What was he fighting for? He was fighting for everything.
Has he ever fought after that?
No, I don't think so.
And has ever got a fight after that fight? He didn't make it to with Tevin Farmer, so has he fought after that?
No, he hasn't had a fight since then.
Done. But I think he whipped Mickey. I thought he won that fight easy.
You thought he wanted to fight me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
so
7-5,
go
7-5.
go down the list though. Go down the list to the top. Let's say you don't gotta go down 10.
Or was it
Go
only
down.
10?
You
Maybe it was less
5.
than that.
Go to the bottom 5. We got
5.
at the bottom 5.
Oh, the bottom 5.
He not dealing with the Mason kid. He not
No,
dealing
hell,
with.
I don't think nobody's dealing with Mason
Well, I'm saying,
besides
but
Tank.
you gotta drop down the line. Who you have? Does Kid Austin? Does he beat Kid Austin?
more
I don't
tire
know.
watches
I
him.
don't know. Kid
Remo, you
Austin
Nah,
made
is
the
one.
point.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Zapata,
Remo.
No. That was a good point.
Zapata. Like who
No,
else?
Cepeda's beating almost all of them guys.
But that's what I'm saying. So where do you place this guy at that you claim that he was that? That's what
He's
I'm
top 10.
asking.
He's top 10. He's probably 10.
But I'm asking, who does he beat up the 9 and above?
Not nobody, man.
Okay,
Nobody.
so
I think he gives them all a fight, though.
hold on, fellas. So where do we have Loma at then?
I think Loma's like 4.
If Loma's
Watching him.
4, hold on, because Remo he asked the question, and he gave y'all the bottom, and y'all saying that the guy's 10, 11. So how do that weigh out?
Shit, I just think Loma's 4. I think Loma's 4. Kambosos is probably right around 10, maybe a little outside of there. But it's going to be a good fight, man.
All right, good fight.
Plain and simple.
So what's the big argument about? Why everybody so rowdy this morning?
Oh, there's no argument. That's just B3 get things popping. That's all. B3 got things popping today. That's all.
B3 pushing buttons.
B3, I just want to say this, right? I love you, bro. It's all right. I love you, all right?
Already, likewise, champ.
I love you.
Hey, listen, it's never personal, man. We just conversing. We just
Not personal at all.
Yeah, never that. And but the thing is this, man. I think Loma. I mean, I just want to see if Loma can just keep that same energy that he had with Devin, because we all seen, man. Loma was putting some hands on Devin. He stayed in there with Devin, and and I know Devin don't have that pop, but if somebody is hitting you in the same spot for 12 rounds, and you pretty much ain't showing no reaction to it, man, this kid Loma tough, man.
I got a question.
He ain't got no punching power, though. I mean, he had Devin hurt one time in that fight.
Yeah,
Now that
round,
I see Devin hurt and know that he's punchy, yeah, Loma got a little bit, but not much, man. He's a pressure fighter.
Hold on.
He's a pressure fighter.
The host. Hold up, I'm the host now, y'all. Chill.
I got you, bro.
No, I'm the host now. No, I'm just saying, like, Loma. Have we seen Loma slowing down?
Yeah, I think the age and
he's
attrition is coming
slowing
around. You can't listen. There's one thing that you can't stop in life. That's just age.
Yep.
So I think he fights in spurts, and for whatever reason, whatever's left in the tank at 12. When he gets to 12, it's always missing.
Facts. Should be emptying that shit. But he's an Olympic athlete. He's took good care of his body, mind and body this entire time. You ain't never heard Loma out drinking or Loma. You know what I mean? Loma's a different type of athlete, like a Terrence Crawford. Always in the gym, always taking care of himself. So Father Time gets slowed a little bit.
Hey, D1, his daddy don't play that.
No doubt.
I was watching the fight and stuff, and I think his Anatoly, he might even turned off his mic. Because we could hear Bill. I was watching the one at Top Rank drop, and he didn't even have his mic on. Because I don't even think he want them to hear, the instructions. He's very calculated, and Loma's very disciplined. So, if George is trying to sell his pay-per-view, so he's saying a lot. Talking about stopping Loma. Yeah, so I just think I don't want George to get too ahead of himself with Loma, because Loma mess around and turn back the hands of time and get George out of there. So he got to be extremely on point with Loma.
EJ Duss says Kambosos isn't even top 15. I almost want to challenge him to name the 14.
It's big homie T Hill. What you think?
I think that Kambosos got a lot to fight for, because he knows this is the last chance to get a big pay fight later on down the line. Loma still has a big enough name, so if he can actually style on him it can set him up for something big. The problem is this. Devin went out there and spanked that man 2 times in a row. Like I said, and then actually Hughes followed it up and just bented him over his knee and just tapped that tail. Loma's about to go and finish the deal, man. We about to put him on punishment. And I say about round like 10, 11, ref gonna be stopping in because the face gonna be swelled up because this is gonna be too much of the Matrix. Matrix gonna run back the hands of time. So I think that it'll be competitive early on, but Kambosos does reach in and he does jump and lunge with his punches, and it just sets up pretty badly
You're
for
to the
him.
doctor, okay?
And I can say it again.
They're gonna take an X-ray to make sure your ankle's not broken.
Oh.
Okay.
And see, Remo got him going to the eye hospital to get his X-rays because after that game,
My bad.
I thought he was talking to his
that's how
daughter or
bad it's
son.
gonna be. That's how bad it's gonna be.
I thought he was talking to one of the kids. No, but
yeah, he was.
I see it one way as well. I see it one way. I think we pretty much all do.
Nah,
but
D1 definitely says it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight. Kambosos can bring it, but Loma with the skills. I'm just telling you the way I see it. Loma with the skills.
Yeah, I just think it's
Kambosos is a tough cookie, though.
Dancing around him, dancing circles.
Yeah, he is very competitive.
I can see him dancing circles.
He's gonna step around him with the feet all night and put the pity pats on him.
We are pretty much the same way.
Do y'all see Loma's having a lot of wear and tear on him?
I don't think he really took a beating before, but that the Devin body attack was a little bit, something that he ain't never really, get. But I don't think Kambosos really gets that attack. Well, what Kambosos usually accredits his whole career on is being the sparring partner of Pacquiao, but nobody don't really fight him in that style.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see him really like. That's why I say is an issue with this dude. Is his feet good? Is his power good? What makes Kambosos good except for that good night he had? Realistically,
nothing really.
And B3,
nothing special.
B3, let's keep it real. That fight that he had with Tio, he had a good front half of the fight. The back half of the fight was not a cakewalk for him at all.
Damn sure wasn't. But he stayed in there. See, that's what a lot of times would we watch certain fights and they go one way, then other fights they don't go that same way, but we don't correlate the two. And I'm gonna give you an example, and not a specific example, but we'll see guys, they'll be front runners like Tank say, they'll start off good in the beginning, but in the back half we'll see them running. You know what I'm saying? They'll either get winded, they'll get hit with a shot, they'll start being on the back foot. But with George he ain't run from Tio and he ain't run from Devin. He took his lumps and he stayed in there. See, but that's what Lomachenko has to worry about. Lomachenko is gonna have to win on points. D1 right on the money. He probably will win a split decision. I'm gonna have to cover that.
Hell no. The boy George try to switch. George try to switch stance on Devin and look sillier. Like, why would you do that? That's not even of your elk, my boy. Like, take it easy.
I promise you, the Greek Spartan comes to fight. He's going to be throwing punches and fighting his ass off. He knows what this is.
I'm not
saying it's going to be a skillful performance. I'm saying he's going to fucking throw punches, and this is going to be a harder fight than y'all expect it to be.
D1, I love you. You from New York, but guess what? Julius Caesar dies at the end, bro.
Yeah, I hear you, my guy. But watch when we're in here on Sunday or the Crow Show, and y'all are like, damn, this dude again. First,
D1. If it goes all 12, I'm definitely eating crap.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm definitely eating crap.
I'll have it for you.
Listen,
and when he gets washed, I'll be here saying, damn, I read that.
What I'm gonna agree on, George is not gonna quit. George's George eyes might be closed and he'll still come out in that 12th round. But I didn't say stoppage. I said it's going to be win by embarrassment.
You could be right, man. Maybe I'm giving him too much points for the will and determination I know he's gonna have. Maybe it'll just look like will and determination and Loma dancing around him, fucking pity patting him all night, and it's a washing. But I think he knows what's on the line. This is a big fight in Australia. It's big pay-per-view down there. He knows what's on the line.
You're not giving him too much credit, because that second fight with Devin was all will and determination. He was getting pummeled that fight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That fight, Devin had his face looking like pasta sauce or some stuff like that, man. I don't know. He was beating on him something fierce. And he did have a more competitive fight, but he didn't quit. No matter what, he didn't quit. So the reason that I say that is because he leaves himself so open. And with as skilled a fighter as Lomachenko is, you keep coming in there off balance, he's going to take advantage of that. And it's going to look so bad that the ref's going to be like, yo, man, we might stop this right here. But it could play out the way that you said, man, because the dude is tough. I don't see it, but it could happen that way, because I damn sure didn't see Munguia giving Canelo the fight that he gave him. I absolutely didn't see that. So I don't know, man.
Big homie, no. I ain't mean to cut you off. Well, yes, I did. We got to stop doing it. We got to stop doing that. But I like to give everybody credit up on the panel, man. It's very respectful. I've been in channels, man, and everybody, we disagreeing, but you know what I mean, and agreeing, but everybody is very respectful up here, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Already, GP. That's what happened when grown men get together.
Yes.
Yeah, we all family up here, man.
And not kids. You know, people they bringing other animosities into the conversation and all type of stuff, man. Leave that stuff at the door.
Yeah. Well, you know, I get that sometimes, but you gotta like the person you're talking boxing with in order for it to not get disrespectful. All y'all are family to me, so it can't get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Gotta like the people you talk with for it not to go left.
Hey, can I pivot real quick?
Yep.
Shoot.
All right, let's say and we ain't gonna stay on this long, but what y'all think about the Maloney brothers? Andrew are fighting this weekend, and any thoughts on them? Like, I know Jason just had a tough fight, but them boys,
man, if he would have fought the whole fight, and, the Maloney kid, my bad.
Yeah, he fights he a co-main. That's why I said the Vella kind of got to tighten up a little bit.
But yeah, I think he's a big deal down there, ain't he? The Maloney.
They are
popular. So,
yeah, they are. He in a tough fight though. The guy he's fighting don't have a lot of power, but I think Jason is a little bit ahead of Andrew. Grit, man. This would be a good card this weekend. I think it's a lot of I think Lou could have did a better job. He could have maybe tried to get somebody else on the undercard. I don't know what Nakatani doing. Let me ask you this, D1 and T here. Do y'all think we ever get the Nakatani versus Inoue fight?
I don't know. That'll be a great fight.
That right
I think
there.
Nakatani knocks him out. No. I definitely think that. I seen his chin get touched, and that boy thought he was hurt.
You are talking Junto, right?
Oh, no question. You already know.
Oh my God, that fight would be epic.
Mm-hmm.
That fight would be epic. I would love to see that. I don't know if we do see that, but I mean, how close to weight are they?
It's 1 apart.
Oh, well then, by all means, because one thing I appreciate about Inoue is that he's going up trying to get undisputed in every single class he goes up to.
Fact.
And I know Juto has one of those damn belts, so that means he's got to be
118 to here. My bad, Juto 118.
Oh no, shit! Then they're right there. They're fighting. If he's got a belt, they'll go get him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna try to do us like they're gonna try to do it like we do over here. You know, we try to hold off on the domestic dust up for as long as we can. Yeah, because They want two great athletes from that country. They don't want them to be just one to elevate and the other one not to. I think Junto was dangerous for Inoue.
Junto is
It's a
dangerous
punching
for
power.
anybody.
Facts.
That's
And
a
I
scrappy
hope
anybody.
Bam move up and get that smoke. What y'all think about Bam versus
man.
Junto?
I think Bam's one of the best fighters in the world, skill wise, IQ wise, all that. I think
And Bam is also draining down too, so he possibly could get in that ring with him.
he could possibly get knocked out from draining, man. I hate to
Yeah,
see
you're
that.
right.
It really it bothers me to watch these guys 15, 20 fucking pounds, and you're a little guy. What are you doing?
That's a fact, though. That's a fact, G1.
That's why all these 8 divisions. Yeah, I'm a champion. I did 113. All right, fuck out of here. If you ain't win a championship at 135 and you're a small guy, I don't really look at it like, oh, you're collecting belts and shit. That's why Monster ain't the top of my pound for pound list. He's fighting all little guys. No, he's a good fighter, but he ain't at the top.
I got one. Loma not really a full 135. You don't know how much Monster really draining himself. At 130, Loma versus Monster right now would be crazy.
It would be. It would be.
That would be absolutely crazy. Bananas.
Yeah, Remo be putting together some good matchmaking. He be putting together some good matchmaking, man.
You need to get PVC's number or something, Remo, and just keep shooting them texts. Yo, what you think about this?
And I'll be honest with you, man. With the way Inoue has been moving, the possibilities are endless, man. He got so many potential opponents there that I'm pretty sure wouldn't mind, because I know he's gonna have him go over to Japan. But I mean, damn, he's selling like 55,000 out there.
There's a reason Leonard Ellerby keeps saying Tank can make 30. All right.
Yeah.
That's the fight right there. That's Tank's Pacquiao.
I wouldn't give a
biggest fight the sport's ever seen.
It would, but I wouldn't give the weight up to fight him though. You want to fight me? Come to 35. Come to 35 to fight me. I'm not going to 30. I think I'm the one. I think I'm the corporate when it comes to this squeaky noise.
Nah, I think I would like to see. I wouldn't mind it at 30. It's big enough. It's big enough to go down to 30. Because if Devin and them could do it, and that's their reason for going down for 30 and 35 and 40, it's worth it.
You don't want to drain yourself for that. That little guy's punching. End up on a
you right about that, D.
No, but I don't think Tank really making a lot of sacrifices these days because he's staying healthy.
Right.
So I don't think it's him draining himself. It's just him doing a little bit extra road work, maybe. But
I'm a face of boxing. Come see me.
It's extra. It's extra.
No, I hear that too. I hear that all the way.
I'm the
Jay.
face of boxing. Come see me. I'm the top dog.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
And you the one that's putting my name in your mouth.
You're Dan to be great. Come see me.
And you ain't call them out though. This is people saying they would like to see that fight.
Jay, that sounds
that's Amber Queen.
That sound good, but you gonna sacrifice a little bit for that paycheck, bro. If it ain't feasible for him to jump up to 35,
I am the paycheck.
It's the trophy, baby. It's coming in the box.
I'm the paycheck.
Listen,
I'm the paycheck.
He just did 55,000 out there, man.
I Jay-Z say I'm the businessman.
Jay, let's keep it 100 though. Let's keep it 100. I tell you, I'm the casual
boxing.
I'm the casual businessman. At the end of the day, there is no name at and around 30 or 35 that's going to make Tank that bag that's going to be like that.
Yeah, but the good thing about it is me being that guy, and I am a businessman as well. Since I was 21, 30 some odd years in business, I'm not giving you the competitive edge.
Can't do it. That's the only thing I can't give you.
All right, so now my
I got a solution.
Hold on 1 second. Jay, you just came back in here?
Yes, sir.
Damn, I'm hosting this shit. Like, no, look, you gotta wait a second. I'm the host. You gotta wait a second.
Hit my man.
Hey, Amber Queen, did you want to say something?
Hold up.
No, we good. We good.
Yo, GP,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Listen, yo, Jay, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Yo,
Can
GP,
I speak? Can I
hold on,
speak?
wait. Right after this.
Tag
Right
me
after
in,
this.
dog.
Right after this. Yo,
Okay.
GP held it down like a G. I understand why you say like, yo, I'm anointing it to only him when I'm going. I get
Damn
it.
right, my right hand man. My right hand man.
Appreciate
yo, GP, hell of a job, my guy.
I appreciate y'all. Yo.
Gotta give it to
I
you.
appreciate
yo,
y'all.
you gotta be the man when you check the host.
He kept it order. So hold up. This is Jay. All right, cool.
Like, when you pop up in here.
No, I appreciate y'all, yo.
I just want to throw this out there real quick, Jay. The 130, if the weight not an issue for Tank, a rematch clause is that solve all them concerns, baby. Just throw that rematch clause in there, and then we get a second fight if anything crazy happen.
Yeah, a fight like that, I would imagine they are doing that. But that's the only thing I can't give you is weight sacrifices in this contract negotiation. I'll give you all the money you want because I'm not going to give you that 5 pounds because that's what gets you knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Canelo
my
gave it up.
Y'all said no.
Listen, I know why Devin was getting knocked around that ring, but you know what I'm saying? It's that extra weight. It's when you Tank is at 35. He's fought there since 2019. He goes back that 5. It's nothing but disaster throughout the history of the sport. Any man that goes back that 5 pounds gets knocked out or beat up bad. Yeah, and there's not even a time where it's been very couple times. 2, 3. You can go all the way back to the 30s.
But
D1, hold on, we got Ann in here, man. He come up in here, man, with the feel out on. He done took it back for us, man. Like
Came in with the lottie dottie.
Back to 1985.
Yeah, I see you.
But yeah, I think if he could make 30 comfortably, because then you got to look at it like this, both guys, they got to have some sort of a sacrifice, and it may be even bigger for Inoue because he's coming up 8.
Two classes. He's coming up 2 classes. He's coming up 2 classes, and Tank is dropping down 1. I'm just saying.
Life ain't fair.
And if he says he can make it comfortably.
Throughout the history of the sport, the A side has never had to do something like that. It's only to this new generation of shit where we're seeing.
No. It's not that he has to. It's not that he has to. It's
I know.
If he can do it.
I'm saying he gets a lot of shit for not going up to 140 and fighting all the guys, for not giving it. He doesn't have to do anything for anybody.
And the beautiful thing, D1, is that none of that stuff amounts to anything. It's just talk.
You're right.
It's just noise. Not going to affect his bottom line in any fashion.
Rhetoric
will continue. That's all it is.
Revs my motor.
Yeah, because like I get confused sometimes in some of these discussions that we have where people say, "Well, you're not holding this guy accountable." How can I hold him accountable? What can I do realistically? What am I going to say that's going to change the course of or the trajectory of this dude's career or how he's carrying himself? Nothing. We're just talking. So, but I say if he can do it, if he can make 130, hey, if they don't want to, then show moves on.
The storyline is so beautiful if he does though, because this is what the fantasy boxers want. The boxing fans, they want the guy that can go in between weights to go make the biggest fights. That's what they credited. That's what they credited the big dude for. That blows up to 175. He sacrifices and he does this to make the weight. And he travels to Australia to make the biggest fights.
Yeah, they fight. Boy, he got a media team.
That's what they credited him for, like right or wrong. Like so now Tank get credit. He did for Rolly make 133. He didn't look sucked down, or you know what I mean? He didn't look crazy. Pause. That was wild.
No. You're right.
But he can make the weight if he's gonna make the weight, and he's not like depleting himself to the point of nutrients and all of that.
Yeah,
he's not. I
know for a fact if he at 130, 135, hell, maybe even at 126, he can't leave himself open like he did against Mary. Because if he do that,
take a dirt nap. He might take a dirt nap.
Second round, bow.
What they say, Which one is he? He's
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Yeah.
See my guy Pugilism talking about Errol Spence.
I heard people calling him Godzuki.
See my guy Pugilism talk about Errol Spence. We gotta remember Errol Spence didn't always fight at 147 every single fight. Like he went up to 154, 152 against what's my guy's name? Chris Van Herden and a couple of people. So sometimes guys, if you're able to maintain yourself, you can fluctuate a little bit. I'm not saying do a Roy Jones. Like Roy Jones went all the way up to heavyweight, then had to lose 25 pounds to get back to 175. That's absurd. But if the 130 can be made comfortably, that's the most important thing, comfortably. Like Remo said, you're not depleting yourself, you're not emaciated, you're not all dried out. And that's a big enough fight to be made. Why not? We just seen what the dude just did out there in the Tokyo Dome, 55,000 people out there. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, he killing up.
Where would y'all like to see that fight if it did happen?
Hold on, I want to give a big shout out to Aunt McQueen for making sure I keep my verbals correct and you know what I mean, my enunciation and pronunciation tight. And I want to give a big shout out to Just Do for controlling my breathing control when I have these debates.
Yeah, you got to make sure you stay in control of your parasympathetic nervous system. You know what I mean?
God damn!
Keep your shit real.
That.
But
he done shut everything down.
I would say maybe shit. Why not out there in Saudi or something like that? Somewhere neutral. But they would have to have a big enough venue because if he's doing 55,000 out there, and we know what Tank is doing over here stateside, they would have to have a massive venue, like somewhere where you could pack a bunch of people in there.
How's Wimbledon? That's in the UK, right?
You mean Wembley?
That's in the UK?
Yeah.
The O2, I think that's a pretty big venue too.
But also, I feel you, but Remo, what you got to understand is that I don't think that they're paying the ticket prices that I don't know what the ticket prices were for anyway, but I know they not what the ticket prices that we paying in the States. So in Wembley, they may not be able to get the gate revenue that they want for the UK fans. Maybe this is just a one-off, and they get attractions and people to come in to pay that. But I think it would have to be like Saudi or Vegas. I mean, just to keep it a stack, Vegas probably gonna have to be the location because you know what Floyd said. What he said he need a new way to come to the U.S. For random blood and urine testing. So that's probably what we're gonna see.
What about
he's stuck in Dubai right now.
That fight would be in Baltimore Ravens Stadium.
Cowboys Stadium.
Beautiful D1.
It gotta be a stadium though. Somewhere major like that. I like that.
Yeah, Cowboy.
July, August. That would be the biggest event ever in Baltimore's history.
No,
I think it'd be the biggest fight ever in the
Raiders got a bigger stadium than that though.
Oh, they do? Than the Cowboys?
Yeah, the Allegiance is bigger than all of them other ones.
I would demand.
Oh, but then definitely at Ravens Stadium, man. Because it would be a spectacle.
Yep.
And like you said, they can market it King Kong versus Godzilla. It is just too much money to be made with that fight, man. That's a spectacle. Then, like you said, because Al Haymon done signed the Turkey dude as a liaison, you got some money you could throw in from there too.
Yep.
I need that top
just to street that way.
5v5.
That would be awesome.
Hey, didn't they mention something about a US UK 5v5?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
break down that he signed what happened there with the Saudi and what break that down.
He signed him as a liaison.
Al Haymon did that?
Yeah, he did something with him. Obviously, he's got PBC fighters on the T-Bud card.
Yeah. So now for
the third card,
whatever card they put on, the PBC gets a piece of.
Yeah.
Even more so when it's a PBC. Oh, great business.
Mm-hmm.
Great business, especially if you got a mega fight like that. You got to make because they're open to all formats. So whenever they do a fight over there, The PBC is getting a piece of whatever it is, whether it's boxer, whether I don't know if they still do anything, but whether it's top rank, whether it's match room, whatever they're doing over there, the PBC is getting some now. If it's a PBC fight, woo,
Yeah.
you taking the two biggest entities, top rank and PBC, and you're putting on a show in front of the world. That's a world. Now that will be seen by the world. It has the dynamicism that you need to make sure that it hits every single screen. Like Jay said, that smile gonna be everywhere.
Hey, T Hill, I gotta say this real quick, everybody, because T Hill just I gotta check you on that, T Hill. Come on now. Boxer is on Peacock, and Jessica McCaskill is defending her titles against Lauren Price this weekend. Y'all tune in and watch a good boxing match, man. They got a decent card over there. So Boxer's still in business, T Hill. And
what is it on?
It's gonna be on Peacock.
All right.
Yeah, so that's gonna be. I think Lauren Price probably gonna outbox her, but that's definitely a fight that people gonna want to see.
Peacock.
Yo, Monster and Tank both fight for Amazon too. In Japan, I think Monster is on Amazon Prime.
He is on Prime. Yeah, he's on Amazon. Well, Top Rank has a deal. Top Rank has a deal with thing in Japan. Yeah, with Amazon.
It would be fire to see PBC versus Top Rank though.
They had it before. They had it before Al Haymon had it.
Yo, to be real with you, Bob is the cheapest goddamn promoter ever. He don't want to get nobody no pay. There's no reason why Loma was never on pay-per-view. There's no reason why Terrence Crawford wasn't giving no promotional dollars. That guy right there, he want to keep all the dollars to himself and don't want to expand no type of network. If you got Shakur is supposed to be the next guy. Regardless to the last performance, he was anointed as, Olympian and all of that. And he don't even want to give him a financial, security to say, like, yo, stay here. That guy is terrible, man.
Yeah, man, you got to understand he's 93 years old. He's used to the old days when the mob was still in boxing. Al Haymon and Eddie Hearn broke the mold with what these guys get paid. Bob is from the old school where Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard both fought for him and they got a couple million apiece, and he's seen all the rest. That's why these guys don't get paid shit.
But he got sued for that as well. And they made a whole act for him in the way that he did business, and he never changed that model. So I don't know why people continuously lay in it. To be honest with you, I think the new kids and the new vision is going to be Eddie. Regardless of what y'all think about Eddie, Eddie's going to be the guy that's going to get these young kids over the hill, because Bob has in business, you have to have a projection and a vision further down the line of 4 or 5 years down the line.
Can I get you some? I apologize, Reno. I apologize. No, go ahead, Reno. I want to give y'all something.
Give us some game.
Let's hear it.
All right. When the Saudi guy came over to do something in the United States, what's wrong? When the Saudi guy came over to B3, come on now. When the Saudi guy came over to the United States, he came over here with Eddie Hearn to strike up a fight for August 3rd. You tripping, bro. Come on now. I'm trying to talk and you keep on laughing, bro. Come on, man. All right. So
over here.
D3, mute your mic.
Is he lagging or something?
Oh, my apologies. My bad, y'all.
When the Saudi dude came over here, he came over here with Eddie Hearn, and he wanted to do a fight in the United States. But when Eddie Hearn gave him the fight roster, he told Eddie, yo, this is not what I'm interested in doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how PBC got into the bed with them. He did, because Eddie Hearn didn't have the merchandise to do what the Saudi Arabia dude, Turkey Al-Sheikh, wanted to do. So once he hooked up with Al Haymon, Al Haymon gave him the goods. He was like, whoa, this is what we want. you know. And from then on, he said, "Hey, let's keep on doing business, man." So I think we're going to see a lot of stuff from Turkey Al-Sheikh in PBC. But Eddie Hearn dropped the ball.
You can't put on the biggest fights that he wants to put on without the PBC. They got all the top names in America. There's a couple over there on Top Rank, but you have to see Al Haymon. You just have to.
And on top of that, he got the perfect business model for them to do the biggest business that they possibly can, given the scope that they have to touch. Man, and if you use Monster Inoue and Tank as the selling point for the things to follow, jeez.
Boxing's in a good place, guys.
I think the Prince of the Sand like the heavyweights though. I don't know. He too invested in the lightweights and then down. Like, you know what I mean? It's some fights to be made down there, but I don't know if he really has like an intrigue and like, you know, those lighter weights from what it seems so far.
Middleweight.
He want to do Crawford and Boots. He said he trying to make he wants that Crawford and Boots.
Really?
For the Boots? Oh my God!
I heard Crawford Canelo yesterday.
Yeah, I heard Crawford and Boots as well, man. So he really want to get them done. Yeah, because I don't think we're gonna get Crawford and Canelo. Because Canelo knows that that's a real good chance that he could get beat. You know what I'm saying?
By a little guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't look good on the way out the door.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
It's a poison, though. Benavidez or Crawford? Who you fighting?
Crawford.
He's taking Crawford. I know it.
Jay, would you advise him to take that fight, though?
What? Canelo and Crawford? If I'm Canelo guy?
No, Crawford. If you're representing Crawford, would you advise him to take the fight? Realistically. Like take away the fandom of the sport as an advisor of money and business. Would you advise him to take that?
No.
Blind or do I got eyes?
No.
And that's why you ain't. That's why we're not gonna see it right there. Yo, the young kid is dangerous. He does
extremely dangerous.
He does everything that Bud does, and he's what, 10 years his age? Under his age?
10 years.
Why?
11
Why?
maybe.
The only thing we can't stop in life is Father Time. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. And reaction time slows down with what? Age. That's it. I'm talking like I'm Calvin today. Give me our riddles and shit.
You wake up one day and you just can't do it, man. Telling you, and you're the last to find out too.
Me and that was having this talk. We was talking about the effect that age plays on it, how it slows down the motor skills and everything. So you can see it happening, you just can't respond to it. That being said,
why they keep saying it's a young man's game?
Because it is.
Oh, because it is. You get in there and you find out that like.
That was horrible.
Was that mine? I don't think so.
I don't know who it was.
Hey, go ahead and finish. Y'all over here with these cricket wireless.
Yo, it was yours. It was yours earlier.
I think it's mine. Mine been going in and out the whole time I've been on here.
Yeah, because you've been coming in with that nonsense, V3.
Yeah, you was laughing and shit. They try to talk, you keep giving little chuckles. Like, this dude don't know he's out here.
Nah, it's all love, V3.
I want to ask y'all this. What's the tougher fight for Crawford? Fighting Boots or moving up to fight Canelo? In y'all opinion?
That's a tough question. I don't know.
I got
don't
Boots.
know.
I got Boots. I think as much as we hold Canelo up to the flag, Canelo not a big dude. That's one.
He's not.
And I think Bud got enough skill set to actually catch up with him. And the only question that would be there is, could he take the thud of Canelo? If he could take it 1-5, Canelo might be in trouble.
I'm glad you said that,
punch on him, bro.
That is the biggest question mark, more so than anything. I don't think it's the other way around, because I've heard multiple people ask, well, what if Bud can't hurt Canelo? Well, here's the thing. A boxing match, you can win in a multitude of ways. Knockout is the ultimate and most definitive way to win, but it's not the only way to win. So if you got the skill set to be able to outbox a guy and be, more clever, you can still win the fight. But that would be my bigger concern, is how he deals with Canelo's power, not the other way around.
Yeah, as Paulie Malignani, he won a lot of fights with pillows, man.
Right.
So
my guy had like 6-7 KOs and like 40-something fights, and he's a 2-time world champion. So
all right, so with just what Ant and Remo said, I'm saying Boots as well, because he's young too. He's very, very young, and he's strong. Yeah, I would think Canelo is the easier fight for Bud.
I feel though Boots is Bud 2.0.
Yeah, I know he is. Like, I know. He can switch better too. I can't tell the difference when he's right or left. Nobody can. I've watched hours and hours and hours of tape. You can't tell the difference when Boots is left or right. Only reason you can is because you can see that he's in that stance. But as far as the skill goes,
I'm not gonna say he could switch better because Bud went full lefty and beat the shit out of somebody who was supposed to be thought about on the top 3 pound for pound list.
Because Bud's a better southpaw than he is an orthodox.
But he's a right-hander, is what I'm saying.
I know. It's mind-boggling, but
hey, Tampa Tommy, man, had his knee surgery and he came out successfully, man. So shout out to Tampa Tommy on a swift recovery. He just had knee surgery and he recovered well, man. So shout out to our brother, man. Make sure y'all keep him in y'all prayers. But the surgery was successful. He had knee surgery, y'all.
Good shit, cousin.
Hey, that's what's
good
up.
Shit. Prayers were answered.
Sunshine shotty. Well, I will say this, man. As far as what you said earlier, Remo, about them catering to the heavyweights, I think that was the thing because of what Jay said. He initially came in with Eddie Hearn, and that's his cup of tea. That's who he caters to. So they were working with the palette that they were given. I think he saw the scope of what can be, and why not open it up to everybody? Because everybody has somebody on their roster that people want to see. Now, if we can get it to the point where we got a platform where people can get their money, the promoters can get their money, and we can make more money, we might have a chance to get the fight.
No, go ahead. More money.
Money. There it is. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And I think that's why Al hopped on him, because he recognized, we got something here that can allow for these fights to really be made, and we still can make our money. And Al don't even got to put up no money, no bread.
Never.
There you go. OPM.
Other people's money, baby.
Yes, sir. That's the name of the game, man.
Yes, indeed. Business 101, Jack. Yes, indeed.
Al truly, he may be the number one businessman that I can even think of, and just to put it in perspective, he don't even have to be seen to be heard, and that's profound. I want to see. I'm just glad that the Turkey Al Sheik and the fund of money that he has made it to the States. So I'm hoping that we can get at least a couple more good cards in the States, and hopefully something on the East Coast, which would be nice.
Al Haymon is the most iconic person never seen. He has his hand in all aspects of the entertainment business. Drake tours are promoted by Al Haymon. Every big boxing match in the U.S. is promoted by Al Haymon. He's a serious, influential man that nobody's ever seen.
I seen him. All right, I'm about to commence over to the road show, so y'all keep.
I have too, but you know what I'm saying.
You going on the road too, D1?
Nah, but I'll be at the Boots fight. I'm not going to the press conference.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I'll be at that joint. I cannot wait.
Can y'all break that down? How y'all like Cody Crawley? Do y'all think he can put up a good fight with Boots, or what y'all thinking?
I think he loses the war of attrition. I think that's what it comes down to. I like Cody. He got skills. He's tough as hell. But Boots also has skills, and he's also tough as hell. And then just attrition, man. I remember watching that fight that Boots had with Thomas Delorme, and Thomas Delorme caught him clean with a right hand, and he just walked right through it like it was nothing. And
I think
Cody Crowley ain't really got that pop like that. No disrespect to him, but
he also did that to Villa too. Villa caught him with some clean shots. And
go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
No, just so it's not the Crawford and Boots fight. Boots. He takes chances and he can get touched. So I'm gonna be honest. I think Canelo will have more. Crawford would have to put more on Canelo. He would have to put more angles on Canelo, and he would definitely have to make sure that he was really trying to he would really try to hurt Canelo to keep Canelo off of him. But with Boots, I think Boots leaves himself open for counters, so that could be problematic against Crawford. But Cody a hell of a fighter, man. Cody a tough guy. It's tough that he has to get his title shot against Boots. You know what I'm saying? It would be better if it was a Kambosos or somebody like that, that he could get a title shot against, but it don't work out that way all the time. Sometimes you got to go in that fire, and if he shows his valor, then he can get brought back against a Stanionis or against a Barrios in a good fight. So you got to take those risks sometimes.
No, for sure.
Man, Crowley is a
Somebody's
tough
always
cookie.
got to be that guy, man. Somebody's always got to be that guy. And I'll just say for our entertainment, it's important that we have guys like Cody Crowley. You know what I mean? Even George Kambosos, like guys like that put themselves in position, even when they're outgunned, outmanned, and they're still laying it all on the line. It's like to every A side, there must be a B side, and it just got to be somebody, But it is what it is. Respect for Cody Crowley, though, man. That dude is rugged.
I respect Cody. I think Boots is gonna smoke anybody he gets in that ring with, and it's at his home in a big arena. It's about to be a movie for him.
Yo! Is this the same Cody Crowley that fought Ramos?
Yes, Abel, yes, yep.
Oh, it's about to like D1 just said. It's gonna be a movie. It's gonna get graphic. My man over there he's gonna be cutting. He's gonna be DJing up in that ring. Hey, but it's gonna be entertaining for sure. Like Han said, it's gonna be for our entertainment pleasures.
Yeah,
because that man he ain't afraid to box, and he ain't afraid to throw. He just in there boxing and throwing with the wrong person.
Hey man, let me say this. Quick shout out to Eddie Hearn, man. Signing Boots and then putting up enough of a bid to be able to make the fight and Cody not pull out. You see what I'm saying? So that's a big deal, man. Shout out to Eddie for putting on for boxing. Yet again. He signed Andy Cruz. Now we got he signed Boots, and I haven't heard any news on Jaleel, but I'm hoping that Jaleel can get an opportunity, possibly on the zone with Eddie or active as well.
I say this though, back to the Bud and Canelo thing. I think that Canelo's gonna have to be as clever as he's ever been against Bud, because there are quite a few things that he's had a lot of success with that have almost become just a habit at this point. Just like, for example, like the way he sets up his right hand, like that touch, then he throws the right hand. The hook off the high guard. They're just certain little things that I think that Bud is just a little too sharp for, then it could be problematic.
And can you see a scenario where Bud can hurt Canelo?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not because of the power, but it's because of the type of shots that he lands. It's the type of shots that he lands. It seems like damn near every time he catches people with that one trap in particular, like when he's on the back foot, and then he gets the guy to overextend, and then he fires the uppercut. It seems like it doesn't matter who the hell it is. Like that punch is so sharp, it's so sudden, it's so unexpected, and it's usually when the other guy is opening up himself that he's able to just stun him. I'm gonna send you the clip, or go rewatch it yourself. When he dropped Sean Porter was like looking around, like he couldn't even believe he was on the canvas. Like when he got dropped like that.
100%. I remember
It
that
wasn't
one.
even so much him being hurt. It was just like, damn, like how the hell did I get here? Like I was literally just on my feet, and now I'm right here. So when you see the shots that he lands, everything is like so sharp, and it's sudden. We seeing guys like we could say what we want to say about Errol Spence, but in that last fight against Ugas, we seen that man take a clean shot when he wasn't looking, no gum shield in, and he stumbled a little bit, but he didn't hit the canvas. But then he had a couple of moments in that fight when he was on the attack. Like for example, that second round when he caught him with that little shot like right behind the ear, caught him when he was reaching for the body shot right behind the ear, and it's just like now you just down. So yeah, I do see a scenario in which it could happen. And the one thing with Canelo is Canelo, not only does he have a great chin, but he's also really good at taking the steam off his shots or off of shots. And I'm curious to see if somebody punches in between his shots, like what does that look like? Because more often than not, he's able to roll with shots because he sees them coming. Like most of the time, people don't try to punch while he's punching. I think the last person I've seen do that might have been like Caleb Plant, but he touched him with a little shot. It was like a little uppercut. It was early on. But aside from that, he does a really good job of taming the guy that's in front of him. And he's able to regulate the pace to where it's kind of like a my turn, your turn type of thing, and not being like a simultaneous exchange.
Hey, and let me ask you this, Ant. So when you see Crawford, how do you rate him as just like all time? Or I know currently he's number one pound for pound, but do you rank him as far as the all time greats?
I don't know. I don't really rate anybody, but if there's anybody who would be worthy of it, I think it would be him, just in terms of just like complete skill set. When you really look at his skill set like as a whole,
Yeah.
like that dude is phenomenal.
No, I agree 100%. I think it's sad that media and people they're kind of like discredit and try to put somebody else over another person just when another person is actually moving and stepping. Crawford is really handling the business. He moved right up. He didn't complain about being isolated from certain fights. He moved up and went right into Madrimov, and we've seen what Madrimov did. Madrimov ain't no young guy who's who's green. I believe he may have even been an Olympian, but I know he had a large amateur background. And just to go up and take that task, moving up in weight, some people may not know Madrimov, so they may try to discredit. But man, Crawford is really taking the challenges the people want. And hopefully he can get some unification fights at 154. I would prefer him to unify at 154 and let Canelo. Canelo might be running out of options. Well, I take that back. Canelo never gonna run out of options because he can fight Berlanga.
He is the
Um,
option.
yeah, 100%, 100%. They lining up for him, not the other way around. So I feel what you're saying. Um, just to kind of pivot off of that, I know it's kind of me and you. I don't hear nobody else. I think everybody else might be off the show right now. I want to ask you, like, who excites you from the young crop at 135? Who do you think who excites you, and who maybe you see might be the cream of the crop outside of Tank? Like the young guys like Abdullah, Andy Cruz. He's not that young, but he's young in his pro career. Andy
Yeah, he's a
Cruz. You got
newly
Floyd.
minted professional, so you could include him.
100%. 100%. So I like Abdullah, Andy, Floyd Jr. He's good. I'm trying to think of anybody else I can think of. I think those are the three. And Keyshawn, my bad. And Keyshawn.
Right now, out of the younger guys, Keyshawn is probably my favorite, especially after that last performance that he had against Pedraza. And the reason being is it's the way he went about his business, like very methodical, very physical, a lot of high IQ stuff. I was like, man, I was really impressed because a lot of times with younger fighters, you don't really see them implement that control game like that. You got a lot of guys that probe a lot, but they don't really seem to fully understand like why they're doing it. They kind of just keeping it out there. And Keyshawn, it's just the way he went about his business. He had Pedraza really, really, really just troubleshooting in there. Pedraza started off orthodox, couldn't do nothing with him. Then he went southpaw, couldn't do anything with him. He tried to box from like the outside, mid range, couldn't do nothing with him. Tried to step on the inside. Like he had this man like literally exhausting all of his options. And I said, damn, Keyshawn had an answer for everything. And another thing I really like about Keyshawn, he's one of them dudes kind of like, you know, like in basketball, Luka or somebody like that, James Harden or my guy, Jalen Brunson, where he's able to really, really regulate the pace. And you're going to fight at the pace that he want to fight at. Like it's difficult to get him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Hard to push the pace on him, man.
And on top of that, like, you know, it seems to be a student of the game. I mean, of the sport as well, too. He seems to like really, really, truly look at his opponent's film and see what they do so that he can be prepared for things. And that's an extreme important piece of the puzzle that people often neglect. Why wouldn't you want to be absolutely prepared for what this person is going to do? I mean, we've seen it with Derek James and how they worked on their game plan. I mean, you want to know exactly what you're going to face because, like you said, with Canelo does telltale signs. So now, if I'm Crawford, I want to make sure I'm thoroughly prepared for each telltale sign so that when I get hit, I can either see it coming, know it's coming, roll with it, or I can avoid it altogether. Likewise, when I see him doing something that I know puts him at a disadvantage, I'll be able and ready mentally to take advantage of it in that moment. Because as you said, very few people exchange punches with him. It's more reactionary. But in order for you to take out Canelo, you got to punch in between his punches. You got to get off before he gets off. You got to break his timing because once you disrupt his timing or any other fighter's timing, you got them at a major disadvantage because now they're at discomfort.
Absolutely. That's a major key. And that's one of the things that a guy like Terrence Crawford is awesome at, man. It's timing, pattern recognition. And then with him, it's on another level because he's the one who can often set the pattern. You know, get you conditioned to seeing one thing, and the next thing you know, it's like the rug is being pulled from underneath you, man. So,
hey, D1 T Hill, can y'all speak on that? Who do y'all like at as the young guys out of the 135 guys? Who is piquing your interest the most? Who you most excited about?
I like Andy Cruz is old, but I like Keyshawn, but I think he's a legitimate contender at this point. I think Abdullah is the brightest light out of all of them. I mean, by far, too. That kid's crafty, disguises his punches, and that's the key to this shit. If you can disguise your body shot to look like your head shot, you're going to be successful. I like Abdullah the most.
Yeah, I like Abdullah the most. I think that Keyshawn is definitely the most seasoned right now. I still do like Mortai, but he does things that allow for him to get taken advantage of by like upper echelon more fighters that got a little bit more experience and a little bit more moxie to them. And I kind of like Vargas. I like young Vargas.
Emiliano.
Yeah, Emiliano.
Oh, I do too. I forgot. I didn't even mention him. He's good.
Yeah, we got a good crop of guys, man. I agree with what you said about Montoya too, because like he's a damn good athlete, good boxer, but I just would like for him. This is just me, just nitpicking. I would just like to see him trim a little bit of the fat off of his style. Like I can't remember who it was he was fighting, but he was like rhythm stepping the whole time, and it was allowing him to get time. Now eventually he sorted everything out and dispatched of the guy, but still, like you said, again, certain guys, when you get to a higher level and guys are able to pick up on your timing, you can't just be bouncing before you attack. That's a clear indicator that you're about to do something. You know what I mean? You're clearly telegraphing what your intentions are. It's like bounce, 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 then you set, then you throw something. It's like I'd like to see him kind of take that out of his game a little bit. Now with certain guys, you could definitely get away with it, but I'd like to see him just minimize that. And the other thing too is, like I was saying, he's another one with a little bit of that probe issue. He got dropped by Galindo because he just had his hand out there, but he wasn't doing anything with it. And dude just came over the top. So I'd like to see him just trim out a little bit of the fat, but I think he's still in all, I think he's a damn good fighter. What did you say? Oh yeah. I agree with that off the hook. Like with Canelo, it's hard to win a decision against that dude. It's hard to for a multitude of reasons. Because for one, more often than not, he's gonna be like super efficient. He don't really waste too much. So then the judges are already looking at the cleaner, more effective punches coming from him. And then the other thing is the judges. We see them get outboxed pretty smoothly, and then still, what was that fight with Floyd? Was it a majority decision or a split decision, something like that? Like I don't understand how that
It
works.
was a split decision. That was the most outlandish stuff I ever seen.
So
Floyd beat the brakes off of him. Shouldn't have been no SD, that's for sure.
Yeah, it should have been UD, but that's the thing with Canelo fights. When they go to decision, you're gonna be holding your breath if it's a close fight, because you like, damn, are they gonna really do the right thing here? But
yeah, because it's the dollars behind the Mexican fighters. It's it's the business of boxing.
Well, behind him specifically, because my favorite fighter is Mexican. He don't be getting the benefit of the doubt. Shout out to my guy Vasquez.
Oh, yeah, he just fought, right?
Yeah, he just won on Friday. He gave me a scare. He got caught with a shot the first round, bro.
Yeah, I was
holding my breath. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then he gathered himself and he recuperated and he acquitted himself nicely, man. He did a fantastic job. Yeah, you got to dive
into it because you said that. That's your guy. It was a good fight.
I love his skill set. I just need to get him with Victor Conte. We need a little bit more substance on them punches.
That little
Yeah, just a little something. Come on, man, Victor, if you listening, send my guy something to the gym. He's down there with Salas in the boxing academy.
Salas got a ton of fighters, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's got like Robert Garcia status. Robert Garcia's got tons of top fighters. Virgil Ortiz, Bam. Like, damn, man. That's multitasking for real.
I'm gonna definitely piggyback off of both points that you two just made. And I want to shout out Brother Umar, Mr. Marvin McDowell. He said something that it didn't register when I first heard it. I almost took it as like kind of hate when I shouldn't have, when I should have listened extremely to what he was saying. He said you got to follow the money. And as you just pointed out, with Mexican fighters, usually you get the decision. But if they got the money behind them, you dang sure better believe whoever that fighter is, no matter the nationality, chances are they can lose the fight 10-2 and still be fighting for a title the next go around. Ask Lomachenko about that.
Oh, Lomachenko.
Ask Maxie Hughes about that. You know what I'm saying? Because Maxie Hughes was beating Kambosos, beating the brakes off of that way. And he somehow lost that fight, but the money was behind Kambosos. Yeah. And as Ant pointed out, a very skilled, a great fighter in Vasquez. has 2 losses on his record that should not be lost. Because he absolutely won both fights. But there's no money behind him. The money was behind Raymond Ford. The money was behind Joe Cordina. So therefore, they get the decision, even though he did the work in the ring. So, like, Brother Umar was spot on when he said you got to follow the money. And from that point forward, you know, with the exception,
how much money you think boxing judges make, or they could make in a humongous Canelo Triple G3 fight? They can change their family's life.
Yep.
And there ain't nobody to govern them and make sure, you know, them 4 boxing scoring criteria get a little hazy when you're judging big time title fights. That's why there is 4 criteria, so they can have bullshit decisions.
Because that I'm glad you mentioned those 2 fights too. Because man, I'm not gonna lie, that those were some spectacular fights. But I still believe Triple G.
Triple G beat him 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that third one definitely he lost. But them first 2, whoo.
The first 2, I think Triple G won. I mean, they're close fights, so I ain't mad at the decision or none of that, because fans need to know the difference between a close fight and a robbery. Everything's a robbery when really it's not.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right about that. The second one,
I gotta say this real quick to you. I know I done hit my camera a couple times. As y'all can see, I'm stressed out. I ain't smoked no weed in a couple weeks, so I'm detoxing.
What?
But the Cordina fight with Vasquez, that was a very close fight, and Cordina had to bite down in that fight. I want to actually, Mike, I may actually try to rewatch that fight. I think Cordina. I think okay. So the sentiments when I did watch that fight, I did want Eddie to get the win. So I'm gonna look back at that. I thought that was a beautiful performance. He pressed Cordina, but Cordina 100% was up for the challenge. And see, when I first was introduced to Cordina, he had that one punch knockout of I forgot his name. It's like Kenichi.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he had that crazy one punch knockout. So I was like, okay, this dude can punch. Man, I was expecting Eddie to be in some trouble in that fight. Man, that Eddie is no joke, man.
He's not.
Eddie is one of the toughest guys you're gonna ever see in your life. I wouldn't want to ever have to you don't want to ever be in no dog fight with Eddie, because he not gonna quit. And Bailey, in that fight the other weekend, Bailey hurt Eddie, and he and man, he recovered. See, and that's what I think D1, a lot of guys, that's what you want the recovery of a fighter to look like. When you get hit with a good shot, I don't want to see you may hold for a split second or but as soon as you get your bearings, you need to be back on top of things. You don't need to be holding for no 2 and 3 minutes. And going into the next round still hurt. So I think I want to see Eddie back, man. I want to see him back. I want to see him. I would love to see him in a pressure, in a fight with Albert Bell, maybe. I think that's the fight that I really want to see, because Albert Bell needs to get pushed a little bit. With a guy like Eddie, that would be a good fight.
You know the thing about Eddie that's amazing, man. Is like his inside game and his savvy in the inside is like impeccable. Like he does a lot of inside work that's fantastic. But he can also get you in that medium range to outside level too. I think any fight that he's in is going to be a tough fight for his opponent. And I thought that we did an extensive film study on him and Cordina, and we liked what we saw from both fighters. And both fighters had a pattern in every fight that they fought of doing a certain thing. This is the thing what we found in the fight that we saw between the 2 of them. The one who was able to hold to the pattern more to what they did in every single fight was Vasquez. And in them later rounds, them last 3 rounds to be exact, because I had until them last 3 rounds, I want to say it was 6-5. I mean, what am I talking about? 5-4, I believe. And I gave the last 3 rounds to Vasquez. I thought he did way more work in the last 3 rounds. I thought that he took more of the game plan that he had and executed it more so than what Joe Cordina did. And I thought that Joe Cordina was just basically trying his best to just get through the rounds in the later 3 rounds, man. It was a fantastic fight. A fantastic fight. But I did edge it to fast finish.
B3 was spot on with Cordina, man. Like you mentioned the knockout. And it's unfortunate sometimes, man. Like when a guy is doing more work, but then the other guy, the quality of his work appears to be much greater because he's got more substance on his shots. And I think that's where it gets a little murky too, like when it comes to effective punching. Because it's like if my power is only but so much, I can only do what I can do. But if I'm putting hands on a guy and I'm scoring more points, that needs to be taken into consideration as well. And I think that to the naked eye, because Cordina did have a couple of moments in middle to late rounds. Like he had one nice body shot that he hit Eddie with that slowed him down momentarily. But then after that, Eddie was right back on it, and then he was punching in combination and getting off on him. But the punches didn't seem to have the same effect. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky sometimes, like with the judging. So you got one guy who's doing more work, more consistent work, but then the other guy, when he lands a shot, it's more eye-catching. It's like, ooh.
Definitely. I gotta ask y'all this. How far is the drive from where Jay is in Maryland to Philly?
It ain't that far.
It's probably got it. I'm gonna say that got about.
It's definitely within 2 hours. It's definitely within 2 hours.
Hour and 11. Okay, that ain't bad. Okay. Yeah, that's good. See, that's.
And if Jay been hanging around Coach Calvin, that can turn into 45 minutes in a heartbeat.
45.
I want to say this, man. I just think, man, Cordina. See, I was going to ask y'all this because we don't see this too often, but this I think styles make fights, and this will make a good fight when a pressure fighter makes the boxer actually get into a dog fight, and there's no like a Sabril or the Bactier and Kenneth Sims fight. I wanted to bring up that fight. That was a great example of like, because usually the boxer don't win those type of fights. You see what I'm saying? So Cordina and Kenneth Sims, they showed in those fights that you bite down, even though you getting, you taking some shots, but you're still standing in the pocket. You're not doing a whole bunch of running and trying to evade. And I can see how certain boxers lose rounds when they're giving up too much distance and they're trying to separate themselves too much. So I don't know if y'all can remember any instances, but those are the two that I can think of off top where the box that I can remember that the boxer stood in there and was able to come out victorious. Now Cordina, I think he maybe got a little bit of help on his scorecards because now I'm remembering back. I had Eddie winning that fight.
Me too.
But like T Hill said, you got to follow the money because I'm not sure if y'all remember this one. Well, maybe y'all should. The Shabazz Masood versus Jose San Martin fight. About a few months back, where Jose San Martin was all in Shabazz's chest, but it was a next gen card. So of course, Shabazz, he ended up getting a decision that was very controversial. In my opinion, when Shabazz was hurt multiple times in the fight. But I love those type of fights, and where you have the boxer that he ain't got no choice, but to stand in there and let his hands go.
It's the style thing. The boxer puncher beats the pressure fighter. The pressure fighter beats the pure boxer. And at the elite level, the pressure fighter wins a lot of them matchups. The elite pressure fighter beats the elite boxer puncher in a lot of instances.
And I agree with what you said, B3. And I think a lot of the times that we catch like pushback is because people just don't either respect the craft, the artwork, the interplay of styles clashing, or they just don't respect the people, man. Because I thought that's what we saw in the ring against Lemos and Richardson Hitchens. It looked like that's what we saw at full display.
Great point. Yep.
You saw a person had to he had to negotiate within himself and battle fatigue, battle pressure, and battle somebody that just had nothing in his desire to quit, but to just continue to press until I break you down and accommodate that, and then into like my man Aunt McQueen say, to mitigate the whole offensive attack that's coming his way to get a victory. And we dumped on him for doing something that was pretty remarkable, man. The dude had him almost out to the woodshed in one of them rounds,
Africa
and he
showed
pulled
me
it
a lot.
together.
He showed me a lot that one. He definitely did, but I thought he lost the fight. But he showed me a lot. He's a problem for any of the top guys. Africa can fight, and that little pressure fighter Lemos, he can fight as well too.
That dude is tough, man. We did a breakdown on him.
He's tough, man.
Well, I think that fight, it typifies why it's important to be able to adapt. Like you see what Blade said, adaptability.
Yeah.
And I think that oftentimes, to the point that you made, D1, because I agree with you wholeheartedly. Buying into those archetypes. Like you gotta be this way if you're a pressure fighter. If you gotta be this way if you're a boxer. It's like, nah. The great Andre Ward said, like, whatever I need to be, that's what I'm gonna be.
Yep. The best
that to me is what makes somebody a complete boxer.
Yep.
Like, yo, if you in there with a guy who can't really punch like that, put the pressure on him.
Get in his chest.
If you're in there with a guy that sometimes even if you're in there with a guy that can punch like that, get on the inside. You know what I'm saying? The safest place to be in a hurricane is in the eye of the storm. It's not on the outside.
Yep.
And I think that oftentimes with boxers, we see guys try to stay on the outside, and that's why they end up losing those rounds, because ring generalship is not a matter of staying out of range. It's being at a safe distance to where you could defend yourself, but also being able to convert to offense on a moment's notice when you need to, you know, being able to counter. But you can't do that if you're just skating around on your bike. You can't do that. So you got to find that fine line between, you know, moving with purpose. Well, that's what it is. I'm not even a fine line, just
movement with purpose. Lateral movement with no punches is just lateral movement. It should be looked at as running. Because if you're not trying to set up traps off lateral movement, the movement is a waste of movement, in my opinion.
It is.
I gotta ask D1. I gotta ask you this, and you see, like, I like to talk about all boxing, but I want to hear your perspective on this because you understand the styles. And Devin was getting a lot of flack for, you know, the jab and grab, what he was putting on display. But then we've seen, you know, the Loma fight, then we saw the Regis fight, you know, where he's kind of trying to adapt his style a little bit. He's trying to be more fan friendly. And I think ultimately it definitely caught up to him in a Ryan fight because a lot of his positioning was off when he got clipped in that 7th round, and then I think his mentality, he started taking Ryan, he took Ryan a little lightly in the 6th round specifically by not getting out of range, and he stood in there and he took like a 6-punch combination and he tried to laugh, and it was real weird to me. And then so I don't know what was going on in his head. And then ultimately he didn't get his feet around in the 7th round. He didn't get his feet. So when Ryan threw that left hook, he just cracked him, and then, you know, he just dropped him and he couldn't do anything with it. Now let me ask you, how do you look at Devin as far as like his development goes? Do you think he's developing? Or do you think he's just allowed like the crowd and the fans to kind of force him into a position where he had to do something that he didn't really want to do?
That's the problem with your father being a media guy and knowing all the terms of the shit. You listen to everything everybody says. So rather than doing what you know you do best, you start to switch the game plan. We know that kid can't fight inside. We know he ain't supposed to be no boxer puncher. You're a pure boxer. Stick to the jab and stay on the outside, because on the inside, that's where the killers lay. And he found out the hard way, listening to the outside public push him into shit he shouldn't have done. And that game plan he had was quite possibly the all-time worst game plan I've ever seen a fighter come into a top-level fight with. That's why you can't have Daddy in the corner making game plans, because he's listening to the socials too much. That kid is an outside pure boxer, and he's one of the best at it. But he's allowing the outside because nobody's going to buy that shit. You want to be Tank. You want to be a pay-per-view fighter. There's certain things that you have to do to gain that spot. And the way he fought wouldn't have sold any tickets ever anywhere. So the outside influence got to be way too much, and he came into that fight with that game plan. It was a serious career misstep.
I definitely 100% agree. And you know, you can't write checks that your ass can't cash.
Facts.
And that did it to him, because and that's what I hope George is not doing. I think George is trying to sell the pay-per-view a little bit, and I don't think George is gonna go outside of himself, hopefully. But I definitely think that Devin, he let that the boring stigma and you know, all you doing is running or jabbing and grabbing. See, they all those type of things. And what Bill, I listen to Bill talk a lot, and Bill he'll always say stuff like, well, who the people putting up, you know, who do the fans want us to fight, you know? And he tries, and that tries to be his moniker. So everything, oh, Mexicans for Haney, you know, all these type of things is kind of. And see, when he's talking like this, he's not talking from a place where his son is getting whipped on in the gym. See, he's keeping his son like Danny. I think like Danny and Angel Garcia. You know, he's like, nobody you ain't going in there and scratching my Maserati. Like, I ain't letting you get up in there and hurt on the champ. So I think there's maybe a lot of that going on with Devin, but ultimately, I 100% agree with you that uh, he has to get back to boxing, man. And let me ask you this, D1: who you think is a good matchup for him to come back? I know you. Do you think he should come back for one? And how much time do you think he should take off? And who's a good matchup would you like to see him in?
It's going to be Sandor Martin, or the belt's going to get took from him. That's probably his best option right now, too. Sandor Martin can't punch. Come back at the end of the year or the beginning of 25 and fight that fight. And what's this kid in the comment section talking about right now? Edwin Clark? Who's Edwin Clark? Get off the panel. He's a racist fraud. Excuse me?
That just lets you know the end done arrived, man. When you got haters,
thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
What the
yeah, he gonna ride if he got a hater like
this
this.
guy, man.
I'm super racist. After I was over here just like after I was just over here just like waxing poetic about my favorite fighter who just happens to be Mexican. I'm just like so racist.
Yeah, that's
my bad though. I gotta point it out. But yeah, I think Sandor Martin's the best option for him. I thought Devin would box circles around him if he sticks to the pure boxing. But now I really don't know what to think. I know that I didn't think he was that good of a fighter the whole time. But let's see what he does when he comes back. He's good for the sport. It was terrible Ryan won that fight, to be honest with you. Devin would have been the better option to win that fight. Sport going forward, tank match. That was a big, big fuck up. I can't believe it.
I think that there are a myriad of options available for Devin. You know, he can also go after Tiafimo. You know, he can take the Richardson Hitchin fight. I mean, I know he has to definitely take the Martin fight, or he's gonna have to lose the belts.
But T Hill, I think Rachel was even on said the other day that you know, well y'all already know this unification chunk mandatory, so he may not even have to pay step aside again if he's unifying. I think that's what I took
if
from
he's
Rachel's comments. I
so
may be wrong there.
so no, that is absolutely spot on. So now that brings in a different set of problems, because now who do we have in the division that has the belts? We got Pitbull, we got Matias, we got Tio.
The easiest fight to make. Well, they were talking about Tio next, right?
Yeah, Tio's the easiest fight to make, and it's the easiest fight on him right now. Coming back off
I gotta ask y'all this. My bad, T. I gotta ask y'all this. Do you and Tio? Let me ask you this: do you think Tio is an easier fight than Sandor?
I believe so. I
Yeah.
believe so because you
No.
can get him to. I believe you can get him into your game plan more so than you can get Sandor. Sandor is like the Spurs, bro. I'm gonna do my thing no
Yeah.
matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
D1, that's what my concern is with Sandor. See, Devin would have to. He see Sandor is very crafty, and people are kind of
Very
sleeping on Sandor.
crafty.
I just don't know that, and I don't know if you heard me say this before, D1, but I was like, that's not the fight that I want, for Devin, because I didn't like and we all know he's not a boxer puncher, he's not a pressure fighter, he's a boxer, and getting into a boxing match with a strong guy like Sandor, people don't realize how good Sandor is. They kind of overlooking him because he's not a well known guy, but he gave Tio a lot of issues, and Tio is a boxer puncher. So Devin would really have to be on his P's and Q's with Sandor, and then you can't fall asleep with Sandor trying to knock him out or trying to walk him down. I just don't want to see Devin in any fights where he got to walk nobody down again right now.
But
I,
but I'm sorry to cut you off,
Go
B3,
ahead, yeah,
but
no, go ahead.
that's gotta be every fight though. That's
Yeah,
gotta be the mindset every fight, especially when this. Now, I'm only using his words. Out of everybody that he can possibly fight right now, I'm the only one that's Hall of Fame material right now. I'm fighting nothing but C-level fighters over in this division and stuff like that. Talking like that can get you messed up. You got to be on your P's and Q's every single time because one of these fighters, man, it's not like I can go up in the ring and beat them dudes. You know what I'm saying? They fight us for a reason. They box us for a reason. They're professionals for a reason. So you got to maintain your professionalism at all times, and you got to stick to the things that benefit your style to win the fight. Likewise, you got to work on the things that may be a little bit more comprehensive to you losing or suffering setbacks in a fight. So I mean, regardless of who it is, man, he got to have that same mindset. You walk in there, I'm pretty sure your boy Tiafimo felt that way against Sandor Martin. And then he's at the end of the fight, he over there on the rope saying, "Do I still have it?" Because he clearly know that fight wasn't it. He didn't do what he needed to do to make sure that fight was without a doubt my victory. So yeah, that's what everybody, Devin, Tank, Shakur, uh Tio, Ryan, all of them, they have to go in there thinking that I got to be on my P's and Q's because at any given moment, any given punch can change the whole trajectory of the fight, man, even the trajectory of your whole lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that I, it's nothing wrong with taking an L. It's bouncing back from that L that means everything. The bounce
Mm-hmm.
back means
Champion.
everything.
I gotta
That's
ask
what
y'all
really
this.
gets fun.
How old is Sandor? Sandor Martin's up there in
About
age.
Oh,
33, about 32,
oh, he's
33.
30.
Let's
Oh,
see.
Yeah,
he's
he's
30.
in his 30s. I think he's about 32,
I thought
31,
he was
30,
30.
29.
30 on the on
On
the
the
dot.
nose.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was 29. So I guess you're 30.
Y'all, do y'all know like when a boxer gets to that number one spot, like they become the mandatory, he just signed with Top Rank, but they kind of shelving him, like they haven't given him a fight. I haven't seen him fight. Do they get a percentage of like the step aside? Like, was that the whole reason why they signed him? Because he ain't fought T.O. They ain't made a fight with him. They ain't put him on the undercard. It's like kind of weird. Like, I don't know if they get a percentage or what. Like, nobody knows if they get a percentage of the
Oh,
step
I
aside.
don't. I think I would imagine they get some sort of step aside, or they just give him a deal and they take all that. You know what I'm saying? But I think the step aside was negotiated before he got signed. But because I think the step aside started with Regis Prograis, and then they
100%.
signed Martin because they knew Martin had the rights to the belt, the mandatory slot to the belt. So that's why they signed him ultimately, because they know he's next in line for that strap, and why not get that strap over at Top Rank? But I don't know as far as the step aside goes if how that works. But I'd imagine that who you fight for would probably get a piece of that.
100%. Yeah, that makes sense. I like Sandor. I definitely like Tio. Are y'all giving Paro any are y'all giving him any shot against Matias?
He's one of the ones that has a chance because he can cut the lights out. And Matias takes punches. That Devin, Shakur, none of them guys got a chance against him because they can't knock him out. Paro can. Don't be surprised if everybody that hates Matias and who has he fought, if they're not sitting on a W after this one, because Paro's punching.
Yeah, I think that's a sleeper fight right there, man. Because Paul definitely is punching.
It is,
and he put in work on his last fight. Like he beat the favorite,
Montana
and he beat him badly.
He's a quality opponent, and he sparked his ass out. I think Paro's he gets the best work too. He's sparring with Stevenson and all them guys. He's got a chance against anybody in eights.
This is the problem.
Are tiny boys. They're tiny little gloves.
This is the problem I see with that fight. Like a lot of people like are disenfranchised with the defense of skill set that Matias actually possesses, man. He does some fantastic stuff, catching shots and rolling off some things. And then he does excellent things with his footwork to place him in a position where he can return the fire, and he works that body. The thing that Paul has to
skill. Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing that he has to know, you good. The thing he has to be careful of is that body work. Because that's what get people to break down. After a while, he taking that body from him, and you start feeling the power intensify because now you fatigued, and you got to go out there and deal with more of that stuff. I mean, that Ponce fight, man, that was everything for me. I never seen somebody control a fight so much, and then the fight just flipped like a light switch.
It's the cheat code, bro. It's the cheat code.
That was crazy to me, man. And Ponce is banging. Like Ponce is throwing. He's throwing combinations. He's hitting high, low. He's ripping the body. My man smiled at him. He hit him with a body shot. My man smiled at him. Like that's a different kind of insane up in there.
They love to call it rock'em sock'em robots. They don't understand how much skill is actually going on the inside of a boxing match. It's pinning, post, all the little technical nuances that a casual fan wouldn't dare to know the first thing about. There's a lot more going on in a pressure fight than they want to give credit for. That takes skill.
It's absolute skill.
Tough fight.
And what's the hurt? The punches, man. He throws short, sharp punches.
It's like it's like better beef. Them little 6-inch arm punches hurting you, and you don't know why. Because he got some big old heavy bones in his hands.
Facts, D1. Just like Better Beef. Like if you look at Better Beef, you look at his fights, and you look how they pan out, you can see a lot of the same stuff happening. Because that yard fight with Better Beef was a fight until it wasn't.
Yep. Matias is a different kind of beast, man. If you can't hurt him, he's coming. He's gonna take the fight over sooner or later. You gotta be able to keep him thinking, do I want to come in here and keep throwing punches like this? And nobody has done it yet. He said Ergashev, his punches didn't feel like nothing. And I know Ergashev cracking. I've seen his punches. I heard his punches. He said, I'm good. Time to whip his ass.
Ergashev, another one.
Guy. Scary
My
guy.
man was hitting him with everything, and he was smiling at him. You recognize how demoralizing that is? Man, I'm hitting you with everything I got. Usually it's hurting people when he's smiling.
Mm-hmm.
That inside game, man, to go back to the jab and grab that you guys were talking about before. For me, that's the one area where I'd like to see Dev be a little bit more consistent because he's got a better inside game than he's displayed. I just think that it's in like small pockets, man. It's just small pockets. Like he doesn't always look comfortable on the inside. And I think that's where he could stand to be a little bit more effective. If he can get more consistent with that, like there's nothing wrong with jabbing and smothering. But at some point, you got to be able to transition that into offense in order to maximize your effectiveness. And he's capable, man. He's highly capable. I just think that part of it is the temperament, and I think the other part of it may be the training that he's doing in the gym. Maybe that's something that they can drill with him a little bit more, get him a little bit more comfortable doing so. But I was rewatching that Linares fight, and it was a nice little sequence, man, where Dev did like some real old school shit, where Linares had his guard up, he had his, he had it closed up, and Dev got real low, and used the crown of his head to wedge a little opening for uppercut, for a right uppercut. But we don't really see him do that often. Most of the time when he's on the inside, he's just holding on. Even that knockdown in the 11th round against Ryan, I feel like if he would have controlled Ryan and he would have actually clinched him as opposed to holding him, he probably wouldn't have got clipped with that left hand that dropped him. Because if you see where he placed his arms were kind of like around Ryan's waist. So Ryan was able to bump him off with the right, like with the forearm, and then hook off on him.
Hey, I'm right there with you. That was the worst clinch I've seen in my life. When he tried, and I think for one, it's almost like he didn't want to hold him in that situation. You see what I'm saying? Like his mind was telling him to keep fighting. He got I think he got into a mode. He was dazed at that point. I don't think I think he was a little out on his feet in the back half of that fight, and he was just fighting off of instincts. But I think in that moment that you're talking about, it almost looked like you talking about when he snapped him with the left hook and just dropped him real fast, right? And it almost seemed that he didn't want to clinch and grab and walk him back. Like he ended up trying to punch him instead. And I was like, no, you know what I'm saying? You're hurt. You can't do that. So that fight was very telling. I just hope he learned from that. For one, I hope he learned to not not fight off emotions and off the crowd. And another thing is he definitely he has to stick to his game plan, man. It's okay to clinch when necessary. It's just not okay to excessively clinch, excessively hold. Um, and I was watching the Kambosos fight, Kambosos 2, and this was after, so they already set the stage. Tim Bradley was like, yeah, he clinched 55 times in the first fight. So of course, he's George is really like George is ready for this second fight. I'm watching this like George wasn't playing around with Devin. Like he was really standing in there because he knew what Devin got at that point. You see what I'm saying? He know Devin not cracking. So it was a point in that fight where he had hit George with a jab, clean jab, but then he clinched him. The whole crowd booed. Whole crowd booed. You see what I'm saying? And that's one thing that these guys don't want. These guys don't want to get booed, man. They don't want that. They want the love of the people.
Facts. And yo, fellas, man, it's been a pleasure kicking it with y'all. I gotta skate out of here, man. I got a couple of business things to take care of, man. Love, peace, and blessings. Be good and safe. All right, boys.
All right, D
All right,
boy.
then get
Appreciate
them
you, man.
beans, big boy.
Easy, boys.
Now I wanna go back on what Ann said. Like absolutely spot on with Devin. Like mostly the what I say, let me just say like you said, the lack of confidence on being inside, the 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 inability to constantly use his skill set in the inside and his temperament. Those three things play a part in him not being comfortable on the inside. You could see it when Ryan had his back turned to him and he punched him those 6 times. That wasn't the look of confidence. That wasn't the look of familiarity. That wasn't the look of like, okay, I'm about to bust you over. You gonna turn your back like that? All right, bet. I'm gonna pop you. So you know not to do that again. And they definitely affect his inside game because there were times in the Linares fight that he did some beautiful work on the inside, man. He was punching in between punches. Hell, even took a couple of shots, but he gave out a couple. And you know, you would see like there's glimpses of him being actually very respectable in the inside game if he implores it. But when you don't use it a lot, and when you not confident in it, and when you don't have that mindset, it's like it's hard to in the middle of a rumble and you're buzzed to focus on that. And then like I think wherewithal, like not all fighters are very good when they do get buzzed. And I was asking many fighters and many people that train, like, is there like drills you can do to prepare people to prep them for that moment? Because honestly, that is something that will help prolong the fight for you if you know how to govern yourself in that moment. And like people need to do better because I ain't gonna never lie to you. I'm a Shane Mo. I love Floyd Mayweather. I'm a Shane Mosley fan though. And I was calling for a Shane Mosley knockout. And when it looked like it was about to happen, I'm like, yeah, to see what Floyd did in that moment was the actual beauty of Floyd in a nutshell. Like truly you could see him not being predicated to a style or anything like that. I got to do what's necessary to get the dub. So now I got to recognize what he's doing so that I can counter what he's doing so that he can't get that ish off no more. And he did it to a T. Andre Ward was the same way, man. You know, whatever I need to be is what I'm going to be to get this dub. And I think more fighters need to be like that, man. And you got to have like experience, you got to have confidence, and you got to have that demeanor.
T Hill, let me ask you this: how'd you score that War Kovalev one, or how did you have? Who'd you see winning? Not score, but who did you see
I had
winning?
Ward. I had Ward winning 7 rounds to 5.
Yep.
I had him winning 7 rounds to 5. I mean, like, and I think if I'm not mistaken, me and Ant, we went back and looked at it, and you could even given him more rounds. Like the thing, like you said with discussing Cordina and Vasquez, some of those things are at play in that Kovalev fight. But to see somebody who normally does something don't do what they normally do, you have to attribute that also to the other fighter. It could be something going on with that fighter, but we definitely know there was some things going on with Ward, but Ward still was able to exact his game plan out a lot more cleaner and concise than Kovalev did. And he did much better work, especially down the stretch. Down the stretch, he was getting his stuff off and he was making sure he flustered Kovalev all the time. It was a great fight, a very close fight, but one that I definitely edged to Andre Ward. And because of go ahead.
I was gonna pivot. Go ahead, finish that. I want to hear
No,
what you
no,
got.
no. And just because of like the subtle nuances of the sport, the things that people don't usually think affect the score, think affect the fight, but actually do. He's doing yeoman's work inside with a banger. He's banging with a banger, and he's manipulating the space. He's making sure that I'm snugging this angle so that he can't get nothing off. But while I got that going, I'm smacking him with this one. I'm giving him this. Like all kinds of things that he would do. He'd go to the body. And you could see it taking an effect on Kovalev. And eventually Kovalev just that grit that he was known for, it was coming away. It was coming away. It was like one of those wet sandpapers, taking away the little oxidation of it.
And
But
you're
you
100% right. And I definitely saw that. See, man, that was beautiful, a beautiful breakdown. Because Ward definitely stayed in the pocket with him, and he went to his body. He didn't trade with him as much. After he got caught and dropped, he learned from his mistakes. I gotta ask you this because I know the people actually probably want to hear your thoughts on this, and I definitely do. Uh, fantasy matchup, Tank versus Floyd at 135. How you see the fight? Not who win, how you see that fight playing out stylistically.
ooh, wow, man, stylistically. I think you got fireworks versus like light show. I think like you got the best of somebody who's a boxer puncher, but has a lot of savvy, has a lot of you know, moxie to their game in sports with somebody who's just gifted in the ring. See, I'm not one who don't give Floyd his respect. He's almost like Kobe Bryant in the fact that, you take Pretty Boy, he had a Hall of Fame career. You take Money May, he had a Hall of Fame career. You combine them both, he definitely Hall of Fame. And either one is effective. You can get the young Floyd or you can get the old Floyd. Either way, you get in problems. And he was able to adapt and change, but so can Tank. So I think the dynamic will be who is able to better govern themselves against what the other person wants to do and maybe be getting off, and who can win the footwork battle.
I'm in agreement with you, and I think one thing that Tank doesn't get a lot of credit for is that his patience in the ring, and his overall boxing IQ. And of course the footwork is unquestioned. Because what happens is that somebody that's attempting to pressure Tank, because Pretty Boy Floyd, he would get you up out of there.
Yeah,
He wasn't really playing around with cats.
and he had them healthy hands.
Exactly, 100%. But see, but I think Tank would have probably end up stopping Money May. I'm just gonna keep it a tall stack with you. Um, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it a tall stack because what is he going? What did Money May have to keep Tank up off him? But Pretty Boy, like you said, with those hands, I think it would have been a closer matchup. It's just that the power dynamic would have. I think Floyd, Pretty Boy, had more power than people are gonna like speak about, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And he was a boxer puncher that could really hurt you. When he was at the lower weights. But of course, once you move up in weight, you don't carry as much power. Um, to pivot off of that, is there anybody in boxing right now, if you had to choose who you would fight that you would want to see in boxing right now, what would be the one fight that you want to see?
Better Ev and Bivol right now.
Facts. Yeah. That's the one.
That
How did you
that's the
feel when you
fight.
got that news, man? That was awful news, man.
Oh, that's a dream right there. Because I thought that fight was happening right around the corner. I mean, it's
That
still
pride.
supposed to happen, but now you got like him with a possible torn ligament. That you don't just heal with that. That's definitely going to affect his performance in the ring. You want those matchups as best of 100% as possible. Because I mean, you got the best of the best going against each other. So I love that fight, and I would love to see that fight more so than any fight. I would like to followed by Terrence Crawford and Boots Ennis. Like that fight, I would love to see. I would love to see. Man, I would love to see like some of the like new and upcoming prospects get it on, man. Especially over there at Top Rank because they got so many of them at the same division. Let's get some of them popping off.
You
You
ain't
know
you
what I'm
not you
saying?
didn't really mention the big one at 135. What is that? Do you is that a big
Tank
one
and
that you want?
Shakur.
Yeah,
Oh, of course. I want to see Tank, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Tank has potential mega fights. Even Loma is a mega fight, especially if he does what I think he's gonna do to Kambosos and handle him. You got Shakur there. You may even have Zepeda there because Zepeda been making it look like easy work. But then at 140, you got the takeover. You got a rematch with possibly Ryan or Pitbull. You got Devin Haney. You got Russell. You got Matias. It's so many fights that are possible for him to be made. So, I would love to see that Shakur fight. I don't believe like Shakur is overhyped or anything like that. I believe the man is a fantastic, fantastic boxer. I believe Tank is a fantastic boxer. And I believe with the backstory that's going on, that makes for a promising matchup. Why not get it on?
I'd like to chime in on that Mayweather versus Tank. Man, I think that would be a beautiful fight, but I think I'm gonna have to go with B3 on that, man, because actually Floyd had problems with lefties, man, and then you got somebody that has good speed, fast hands, man. That would be a great fight, man. And I think the deciding factor is who makes the first mistake, man, because that's what they capitalize on, man. You know, they're going to counter, they're going to make, and if Floyd does make a mistake, which he did get hands put on him, so we know that Tank will be able to get hands on him because Marcus McDonough was able to get hands on him. Shane Mosley was able to get hands on him. But I don't think none of them got the bang like Tank have, man. So I'm going to have to go with Tank on that one, man. And Mayweather's my favorite fighter, man. I'm going to be real with y'all. Mayweather, my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? But if that was, in the fantasy world, for some reason, I think Tank gets it, man. And I know that's a lot saying right there, but that's the good thing about it, man. It's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being disrespectful. I apologize to everybody about the disrespectfulness that was in the comments. For some reason, I wasn't able to hit it with the boo-bop bang, but I made sure it got done, man, because we don't tolerate that type of stuff, man, at all. You know what I mean? And I've been sitting back just chilling because I'm enjoying the conversation, man. If you don't like what you're hearing, it's like TV, man. Turn the channel, man. Why you got to get on here and be disrespectful? You know what I'm saying? That's children's stuff, and we grown men, man. So if you don't like what you hear, go somewhere else. It's just that simple, man. There ain't no biggie to it. Turn the channel. That's all I got to say about that, man. Y'all keep cooking, man. Y'all doing y'all thing. I'm enjoying a good show right now. Y'all keep burning, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is J Hardcore, Hardcore Boxing News, and that's what it means to be JBT, Just Boxing Talk. The man said his favorite fighter of all time is Mayweather, and yet he would stand on his principle and what he know to be of boxing to go against him in a fight. So you gotta love it, man. You gotta respect it.
That's 100% TL, and we appreciate you, Jay, letting us cook like this. I appreciate you letting me come on and chop it up. I love asking the fellas questions. How they feel about certain fights. I know the chat, they want to hear certain things, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's rocking out with us on the road show. Man, it's we got to keep it real at the end of the day, man. Tank, that power in boxing is the ultimate equalizer. And when you able to crack your opponent, that does something to the nervous system. Our bodies and our heads are not meant to be hit. So when that equilibrium gets shook, it separates the men from the boys. And I definitely feel like with Floyd having to punch down at Tank, see people not speaking on that enough. It was even difficult for Tank to fight a shorter stature pit bull. And I know he had he was handicapped in that fight or whatever. But even still, is definitely harder when you punching down when you have somebody that's smaller because they can get under your shots. That's why Ryan has such a problem with Tank. Is because Ryan is a good fighter, 15-time national champion and all that. But because Tank was able to get under his left hand effortlessly, because essentially he's about 4 or 5 inches shorter, plus he has the skill set to do it. That put Brian at a complete deficit. He maybe touched him with the left maybe once, I think. But other than that, he didn't touch him with it again because Tank trained to get up under that left, which is what Devin was supposed to do. But Devin, he got caught with that left early, and I think his fight or flight response kicked in, and he ain't no bitch, as excuse my language, but so he said let's get it, so he pressed the action forward. What up, Coach Eddie?
Listening, man. But then I heard we got to stop the Tank worship, guys. I'd heard somebody say the Tank beats Floyd, man. Ain't no planet, no place on this earth that Tank beats Floyd, man. I mean, I don't know who said that. Hey, you try to your opinion, but come on, brother. I just don't see it, man. Tank
Break it
resume
down,
is
Coach.
Tank resume is too. I mean, Tank. Yeah, Tank is a great. Go ahead, brother. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. Tank is a great fighter. He's a generational talent, but you got to look at the people that Mayweather fought, man. He fought Chop. Tank ain't ever even been in with nobody like Chop Corley. He ain't even been in with nobody like Sean Bay Mitchell. He ain't been in with nobody like Diego Corrales. He ain't been in with nobody like Shane Mosley. He ain't been in with nobody like Manny Pacquiao. He ain't been in with nobody like Warren Marquez. I mean, come on, man. This guy resume ain't that deep. Floyd has been in there with some bonus. Miguel Cotto. I mean, this dude been in there with some, Emmanuel Augustus Burton, the drunken master. This dude been in with some dudes that can fight, man. Tank ain't been in with nobody like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it a beam, bro. He ain't been in with nobody like that, man.
Just because he has not been in there with anybody like that doesn't mean that he can't compete. He just hasn't had a chance to be in with people like that. But that's not to say that he won't. And once he will, we'll see what happens. But all I'm just saying is Floyd got problems with lefties, man. Tank's a little dude. We're talking at 135. You know what I'm saying?
That's even worse. That's even worse. 135. He stopped Tank. That's even worse.
Go ahead, Coach Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just Floyd at 135 was a monster, man. He was a monster, brother.
He was
a problem. I mean, I remember watching Tank on Floyd on ESPN. Floyd got it the hard way. Floyd didn't have nobody picking and choosing his matches. He came up the hard way. He went through these guys that can fight. It's a lot of guys right now. These guys today, all they doing is fighting names right now. They fight names. They're not fighting fighters. That's why we can sit up here and say, oh, Teofimo Lopez is a great, 140 pounder. We only fought one guy in the division, man. Right now we going off of name recognition, man. Really look at Floyd Mayweather resume, bro. It's deep. It's a lot of killers on his resume, man. I mean, Sean Bay Mitchell, when he fought him, Sean Bay Mitchell was an animal, bro. Look at all the athletic black fighters that Floyd went through to win. Zab Judah was a monster. You talking about power punching fast, slick guy. Come on, man. Tank ain't facing nobody, not even on that level. You can't name nobody face on Zab Judah level. Not on that. I don't think we didn't get in the ring with somebody like that, man. He ain't showed it.
Blasphemy now. You think Shorty ain't scared of nothing. He ain't scared of nothing now. You talking about he won't get in the ring. Coach Eddie, I know you got something against Tank. I get it. It's a tough ass fight. I'll probably make it a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you, man, y'all keep thinking Tank ain't that, man. In these next 6 or 7 fights, y'all going to see some shit y'all ain't seen before. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Just because he hasn't fought on those type of levels like Floyd, and I've seen all of them, Jack, don't mean that he can't compete on that level. That's all I'm saying. But
the hypotheticals, not to cut you off, but the hypotheticals don't work. Floyd done it, man. Tank said himself the best guy on his resume is a Jose Pedraza. That's the best guy on his resume out of his mouth. I didn't say that. Tank said that. You know what I'm saying?
His career not over yet. Career not over.
He 30 fights in, brother. He 30 fights in.
And he got 7 more that he said he's about to do. All 7 could be monsters. We don't know. But I tell you what, Shawty can go, man. I'm going to tell you. Y'all ain't seen everything he can do. I guarantee you that. Y'all have not seen everything youngster can do. I'm telling you. But I'm going to tell you, this fight you're about to see is going to be a showcase fight. It's gonna be a showcase fight. I guarantee you that. When this shit is over, that's what with this fight. I guarantee. Come back on the pro show. You'll be eating a lot of damn pro. The people gonna be like,
"Oh no,
I ain't know you.
I'm not
like
saying.
Why?
I'm not saying Tank ain't gonna win. I know Tank is gonna win, but you got to remember, look at the guys that Mayweather beat, and then go and look at all the guys that Mayweather beat and those guys that they beat. These guys that Mayweather beat got a lot of killers on their record that they beat. So I mean, this guy was Mayweather's in there with top competition, man.
I don't know about here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jay. It's a little background, but you good when you talking.
All right, cool. I want to make sure I get I see Grimo trying to come back in. All right, y'all. All I'm saying is, man, give Shorty a chance to pass and get into some of those great fights that you're talking about. Floyd had a plethora of people to be able to fight with, man. And Floyd's great. We can't take Floyd is my favorite of all time, man. I'm going to be honest. I love everything that he's done inside that ring, man. And he made a lot of good things for boxing. But I would love to see that fight because I know what else Shorty got. Shorty can go, man. And y'all just going by because the way his people been moving his career, he didn't get a chance to fight some of them people that we wanted him to fight. But I guarantee you, this last 7 that you get to see, you're going to get some get down, man. And you're going to say, oh, shit, I thought this fight was going to be a 50-50. Oh, shit. Oh, man. And I guarantee you, man, he's going to be doing these damn fights, man, and it's going to show levels above the other cats, man. And everybody going to sleep. I'm going to tell you, that's the equalizer right there, man. That sleepment, man. I'm trying to tell you, Shorty got it, and he sets you up for it. He lowers you into a false sense of you're doing something good, and then you get greedy with what you're doing, and then bam, good night out ring. That's why I get that guy a pillow, man. That's all I got to say about it, man. That's it. I know what you're saying, Coach Eddie. I respect everything that you say. I love you being on here, man. But Shorty ain't had a chance to do. He might never get a record like Floyd's record. 23 champions he defeated. But Styles make fights too, man. Shit, we almost see Floyd lose to Marcus Madonna. The best thing that Floyd can do on the fly is adjustment. And he just adjusts beautiful, man. But those punches that he was getting caught with Madonna, man, I'm going to tell you, it'd be a little different with Lil Shorty. They say, I done talked to people that did doing the mitts with Tank and everything. They say the shit different, man. He detonates, man. So that's all I'm saying. When you got that and you got accuracy, you could be one of the best cats around. But you go and get hit. And when Tank finally hit people, what happened, Coach Eddie?
He gets knockouts.
That's my take.
Hey, and another thing, Coach Eddie, let me say this real quick. Because that Chop Corley fight, that turned it kind of to a dog fight a little bit. And Floyd, he was touching Floyd. I think he had Floyd lip busted and everything.
He hurt Floyd in that fight.
Yeah, but Floyd showed that dog in that fight. So kind of like how you see it playing out, because what you're saying from your perspective is you haven't seen Tank have to dig that deep. So you're not gonna. I see what you're saying. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like you haven't seen Tank show that level yet?
What I'm saying is with Tank is the best fighter of this generation right here. I'm saying that generation of fighter, what Floyd was dealing with, you dealing with a better fighter all around. Everybody that he was in their end was, put it like this, some of the guys that back then were contenders back then will be champions right now. Like Chop would be a champion right now. And of course, we know Zab was already a champ. We know Juan Marquez, he was a champion. I mean, these are great fighters, man. It's just like the competition level that Floyd was dealing with. was much different than what's going on right now. And those guys, those guys were real threats, man. At the end of the day, it wasn't a lot of this internet. It wasn't no putting your fighter in the witness protection program. You couldn't do that back then. You had to get out there and you really had to fight. And Floyd really, really got it out the mud. If you really wanted to call a spade a spade, I'm not even a Floyd Mayweather. I'm not a Flomo. I'm not one of his biggest fans, but I got to give the man credit for what he done. He really beat some really, really tough guys, man, if you really look at it.
And I agree with you 100%, Coach. I want to see, but what we trying to say is Tank versus Floyd, and kind of your analysis on that, not Floyd resume, not Tank resume. If you can't judge it based off of what Tank hasn't shown you, I completely understand that. But we just want we want to see what you think about if they was to match up at 135.
To me, I think Floyd Mayweather possibly stop Tank at 135, man. I'm keep it all the way at 100, man. He come from a better school, if you ask me. You got Uncle Ryder, you got Floyd Mayweather Sr. This kid was born to fight, man. And just based on what I seen, we don't know how well Tank take punches. He ain't been hit yet. So we seen Floyd take shots and recover. We seen Floyd get hit by some guys that can really crack and never go down. We seen Floyd find a way to win, man. And I think Floyd is gonna definitely. He was just simply outclassed Gervonta Tank Davis. He's too smart, he's too crafty, he's too much of a dog. He's just a different specimen than Tank Davis when he comes in that boxing ring.
Hey, one thing, man. I see Val Henderson said I can't see podcast. Hey, let me tell you something, Jack. I'm a man before anything. I put my pants on just like everybody else, man. And I ain't nobody's yes man at all. And I speak what I feel, you dig, regardless if I roll with the Rize or not, Jack. That don't mean nothing to me. If I feel though the Rize saying something that I don't like, I'll say that too. Because I'm a man, bro. I don't get down like that. So that conversation you just had about is Ishnay, man. I don't get down like that, brother. I speak my mind at all times. I never, because I'm down with somebody. Come on, man. We don't get down. See, that's the difference about us and all these other cats, man. We speak how we feel, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that, man. Because what difference? Rize don't pay me no money. I don't get no Rize with no. I don't get no money from no Rize. So why can't I speak against them? You know what I'm saying? But I haven't found any reason to, because they haven't said anything so far that I have a problem with. You did? But if they did, I say that too. And we men, we'll talk it out and hash it out and keep moving on, because that's how men handle shit, man. So no, I can't agree with your comment right there, my brother. But it's all love. I love when you come on here, man. But I was the same way I just addressed you, the same way I would address the Rize, my brother.
Hey, appreciate that, JJ. Let me say this real quick, and shout out to Val. Val love his guy Shakur. I think yeah, we got Remo.
Yeah, no, I had to jump on because I just want to say this. Jay already chopped it up, but I don't rock with no yes man. You know what I mean? I'm already a tough enough cookie. You got to be a man to deal with me. You know what I mean? Ain't no if Jay feel one way, that's how he feel. I can't. One thing we can do is agree to disagree, man. We ain't gotta start that. Don't start that bullshit, Val. Don't start it.
Yeah, don't come with that,
What
man.
you was talking about, B3?
Nah, I was just gonna say that Val support. He love his guy Shakur, and I just wanted to speak on it a little bit because we brought Floyd in, but Shakur is the guy that a lot of people are picking to possibly be the next Floyd from the southpaw stance. And I know you don't believe that at all, saying, but it's the style that he fights with. It's his style, though. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I want to speak on. It's his style, and me personally, I think with his style, he possibly can beat anybody. I just think stylistically that Tank walking him down and him running from Tank, I don't see him winning that fight. He's not gonna get no type of decision against Tank if he's not standing in the pocket and fighting Tank. And if you stand in the pocket and fight Tank, we see what happens. You can't do it. You have to move around Tank. You ain't about to be standing in there. Shakur is smart enough to fight to get in and out of range. It's just that with his style, he can beat everybody else, but when he fights Tank, he's not gonna get no favorable decision if he's not fighting Tank, and that's a fact. I don't care what nobody says.
Hey, B3, can I get some love here?
Yes, sir.
I'm back. But what Floyd always said, you could box as much as you want to box, but eventually at some point in time you're gonna have to fight. And all
Yup.
them dudes gonna have to fight in there with a little demon. And that little demon hit hard as hell. That's a little different. That's a little different. And it's not like he just punch hard. He has attributes that's going to get you into the mix and make you miss and hit you back. But do you have the firepower to hit you back, to hit him back? That's one. Two, as much as people don't like Tank and they don't think he's this and that, when he go through this 6-7 fight deal and he decided like, you know what, I don't want no parts of this game no more, and he leave y'all with the rest of these dudes that's left in the game, and y'all gotta pay for pay-per-views where you know it's gonna go 12 rounds and you gonna go to sleep for your $80, apologize after that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to chime in. Like you talking about the 135. This is my opinion. I know I may get shot down for it. Tank's a great fighter, man. If him in a prime Sugar Shane Mosley with the fight, I favor Sugar Shane Mosley to win that fight. And that y'all might think I'm crazy. Those guys was just different back then. Even Tank himself said these new guys today ain't nothing like them old guys. Them guys were different. Just like the men today are different than the old school men. They're different. You talking about you dealing with a total different man. I mean, yeah, biologically, yes, the same, but mentally, grit, desire, you just dealing with a different man, bro. Hard time make hard men, brother. I mean, you dealing with a different cat, bro.
Coach, all that sound good, but you can't reincarnate Shane Mosley to
Oh no, but I mean, all the reason I said that because we brought up Floyd, and Floyd is from a different generation than Tank. That's the only reason I brought that into the mix.
Hey, Coach Addy, you know what I hear often, Coach Addy?
What's that?
That you go put Tank in the mix with them fighters that you're referring to, and he's still gonna be good. That's what they say. Even what's my guy that be wearing the wigs? Oh man, I can't remember. Chop even said it.
Yeah.
And Chop said no, Tank can hold his own back then, and he can hold his own now.
Exactly, but we got to see it, baby. All I'm saying, we got to see it, man. That's all I want to see. I can't. I mean, it's just like you got two guys in the hood, and we foot racing. Man, that dude fast right there. Okay, well let's race, man. Now we know he gonna beat you. We don't need to race. Wait a minute. Now you said the man fast. I want to see how fast he is. Race me. That's all I'm saying, brother. We got to see it, man. All this hypothetical, I just want to see it, man. I got to see it with my own eyes, brother.
Shakur gonna get his ass whipped. Just relax, sit back. We got 6-7 fights to go. Shakur gonna get his ass whooped, and so is Devin Haney. Just relax. Relax, Coach Addy. You ready to get what you want?
Yeah, you got to show me, man. That's all I'm saying. I know Tank is the best. I'm going on record right now. Tank is the best 135 fighter out of this generation. Until somebody prove him otherwise. I will bet. Like Jay said, that $1 rule. If I had my $1 to bet on anybody versus Tank in the new group of guys, I'm gonna put my $1 on Tank. And I like Devin Haney more than Tank, but I'm gonna keep it a beam. I'm gonna put my $1 on Tank because right now he the best.
Hey, Coach, I got one question. Out of all of the fights that Floyd had, where you say he was in there with a dog fight with Chop, Maidana, and all that. Any of those guys at the 35 you see him in a dog fight with, he didn't already beat all the heavy hitters or the guys at and around that weight. He didn't fought with the heavy hand. So who's gonna give him that thud and back you up type shit? You're gonna have to figure out the rest. There's none of them left.
You talking about Floyd? You talking about Tank?
I'm talking about Tank.
Oh yeah, like I said, ain't nobody really punching like that, man. It ain't really that many.
No.
I mean, Pitbull Cruz, he's the puncher.
Not none of them punching. The ones that are punching, he done already faced. They might not have been the most skilled, but the punchers that's gonna give him a threat as far as going to knock him out, he done already beat them.
Yeah, maybe Ryan Garcia and Pitbull Cruz.
Ryan, Pitbull, Rolly, the three hardest hitters at and around that weight.
Yeah, them hard hitters, but like they didn't have the skill. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That these
no, no.
other guys did.
I ain't talking about the skill, baby. I'm talking about
Yeah.
if anybody going, Maidana ain't have all the skill, but he had a thud, and he done knocked the nigga tooth loose. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Knocked it
If
out.
he ain't had, where Mayweather had to figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna beat him in that lane, but I'm gonna show him a different layer. Who's left at and around that weight that you gonna say that Tank gonna have to figure out another layer because that dude hit hard enough for him to change his game.
There ain't nobody, man, that I can think of.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we devalue a lot Tank's skill set because we juxtapose it against the people that he's fighting. But at times, sometimes it be the fighter that makes the other people that look that good. I think with these next 7 fights, starting off with this fight against Frank, you're gonna see that in effect, and people are gonna devalue the worth of Tank because he made it look easy, and I think that's the biggest problem we have because we're comparing errors, and it's kind of hard to do that in any sport. Any sport is hard and very difficult to do that. You only can compare within what you got in the framework of what you're working with. However, Tank is very skilled. He's very adept. He's got a very good boxing acumen. He has excellent footwork, punch placement, timing, speed, power. Like my man works high low. He does everything that you ask of a boxer, but he just got a stigma about him that for some odd reason people don't see him for what he really is. Maybe it's because like people think he's been avoiding the big fights, but if that's the case, everybody been avoiding the big fights because nobody's fighting each other. And I think he's trying to break that with these next 7 fights. I think these next 7 fights will be the fights that you're looking for those marquee matchups where it's against somebody that you respect. And if he beats him, then he did something. And he's gonna beat them. I think he's gonna beat him handily. And then we'll finally get the fact that it ain't no matter what he do, he never really gonna get the true just due that he's due. Because, it's people, I guess it's just the era that he's boxing in.
I think the biggest thing, though, Thomas, this is just my personal thought, is that we as fans, we're so hostile with one another that we project that on the fighters. And you could even just say that, like, look at the names that people call each other: Tankamaniacs and Haney hoes and the Haney cult and all this other stuff. And we project a lot of the hostility that we have with and amongst each other onto the fighters. So then we have to find a way to degrade the fighters. So I got to talk crap about your favorite fighter. You got to talk crap about my favorite fighter, and so on and so forth. And then we get to a point where we're just anticipating a hiccup just so we could say, I told you so. I told you he wasn't that. I told you. Well, when the dude was when he was undefeated for 30 plus fights, everything was good. So that's ultimately what it comes down to.
I think someone spoke about it yesterday. I don't know if it was Thomas Hill or Ant McQueen talked about the rhythm of the fighters. Black fighters versus European fighters versus Mexican fighters. It's a different rhythm, a different style. Um, and Tank really doesn't have that many African Americans on his resume, so I think he gets a lot of pushback for that, for fighting a certain style, not dealing with that athletic style, not dealing with that other brother that's on the other side of you. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to keep it 100, boxing has mostly been, for the most part, by and large, has been dominated by African American fighters, the black fighters, and then it's usually your Mexican fighters and then your European fighters. Now, yeah, there is an exception to that rule. You do have some great Mexican legends, you do have some great European and white fighters, but just by and large, for the most part, blacks have dominated boxing. Uh, I mean, I think that's kind of factual. You can do the numbers, you can do the stats, see the champions. we were dominated boxing. And I think that's what Tank gets a lot of pushback. He's not fighting his contemporaries. Like people felt like these fights should have already happened. And I think that's where he gets the pushback right there.
Yeah, but the business prevents it from happening because they feel though that two black fighters do not make big money fights because they have had it in this past. So I know I've seen both against Holyfield and all that. But even Floyd said himself that was the reason why. So it's the business of boxing that prevents that from happening. But we do get it though, man. We do get it, and I agree with you, Eddie. Athletically, it seems like we got it better. You know what I'm saying? But when you get the African American and the Mexican fighters together, man, that makes the money. That's why those fights are always made. That's why they fight on Cinco de Mayo, the face of the boxing, fights on Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day, because the biggest supporter are Mexican fighters. So that's why we have black fighters against Latino fighters. It's all about the money. Prize fighting. That's pretty much all I had,
No,
But
I agree.
fights, we're gonna get them. With Floyd last fight, what was it? Andre Berto. You know what I'm saying? And it did horrible numbers, man. I was there. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, we pay more for mixed fights like that, man. And it's been like that, man. But history has proven some of the hugest fights were black on black fights, man. You dig it? It is what it is, man. You got Holyfield you got Ali against Foreman. You got Ali against Joe Frazier. So those fights do make money sometimes, but it's not the norm. That's all it is, man. And the way Tank advisors moved them, they moved them with the bag, man, and making sure that he got a nest egg to be able to take care of his family. And you're going to get some of those fights later, you dig? And I think we're going to get them in this 6 and 7 deal fight. But keep in mind, it's always profit first, man. It's always. Go ahead, D3.
No, I want to put some sauce on that real quick. Like, I think people say, like, we're not getting these fights and this person avoided this person. But you got to remember, like, if it was one entity like the UFC where it was one umbrella and there was no PBC, it was no Top Rank, it was no Matchroom, there was no Golden Boy, it's a little bit more easy to say somebody ducked somebody. But somebody, unfortunately, is the A side. Somebody is the B side. Somebody has the weight advantage. Somebody doesn't. Like, they trying to find the even medians in all these fights. And it's just not straight business where one entity making all these fights. So it got to make sense on all accords, not just the money, but the weight, the class. Everything has to make sense in this boxing shit. So the duck talk is kind of irrelevant until everybody's on the same side and everybody's calling on each other. And, like, now there's no division of entities to even put into play.
I'll say this though, Remo. See, and here's where it gets a little bit murky because we oftentimes we use the UFC example, right? But UFC is also just a faction of MMA. You still got all of these other companies out there, like Bellator and Shodu or whatever that is. That's out in Korea. Then you got a couple of other ones, PFL. So we, to some degree, we don't even know who the hell is the best in MMA. We know who the best is in UFC, or the best is in PFL, or who the best is elsewhere. But it's not like all of these guys are mixing it up.
Well, I agree with you on that, of course. I don't even know all of those other factions. I just know the main one. But yeah, it's the same kind of situation. But it's like unless you have like one unified like NBA, you can only get one champion in a situation like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because who say that? All right, Tank says I got a 6-fight deal, and then Shakur says, oh, I'm re-ing up on Top Rank for my like life security. Who's at fault in that situation?
I blame the promoters on that because they can't come together and make the fight, man. These guys got to be willing to work together, to make the good fights that the fans want to see.
I agree with that.
And
But they
all views right now, it looks like everybody say, "Oh, PBC don't like to play with anybody," but PBC sends a lot of their fighters to other factions more than anybody.
But them B-side fighters, PBC, they only send their B-side fighter. They don't send no A-side fighters over there. Most time when they send the guys somewhere, they send them over to get beat, man. Keep it 100, brother. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are expendable. If you want to keep it 100. And what happened with this business model is that if it's not a big enough fight, then you're going to miss out on a lot of great fights with guys that maybe necessarily don't have a name, but they really can fight, like your Gary Antoine Russell, who's not going to get his shot because he doesn't have a big name, but the kid can fight his butt off, man. You know what I'm saying? So now you got guys that are going to fall into that Marvin Hagler type of deal or that Tan Crawford type of deal where they're going to be in obscurity for a while till somebody decides to pick them for a fight. And then they can necessarily make a name for themselves. I think the problem is every time these guys lace up, they think they're supposed to make $100 million, and that's just not the case. Every fight is not a pay-per-view fight, and they keep trying to push it as it is. I mean, I don't understand this pay-per-view thing. Every fight can't be pay-per-view. You have fights that are pay-per-view, and you have Mike Tyson. Every time Mike Tyson fought, it wasn't pay-per-view. Every time Holyfield fought, it wasn't pay-per-view. But the pay-per-view was reserved for special occasions where you had two top guys. That's what the pay-per-view was for. Now we getting hog head cheese versus whoever. That's pay-per-view, and it's not. Pork chop Willie versus Hobo Sam. That ain't no pay-per-view fight. That should be on regular TV.
Let me just rewind it back though. I want to make sure that we do this just to make sure that it's accountable for everybody. Because Tank isn't the only one that's not fighting people that they say he need to be fighting. All of the fighters are doing it. All of them are mostly laden with their resumes are laden with like Mexican fighters and very little at that division because the weight class very little of African American fighters. They all need to fight. They all need to hold themselves to that standard of fight. And like you said, the promoters, they need to get on the same page so that they can go. And I believe that's why Al Haymon implored the Turkey Al Sheikh dude. So that we can have a platform where we can get everybody the money that they're looking for and still put on the fight and make money. So I mean, I'm hoping that like these six, that's part of the deal that he signed that was pretty lucrative is the fact that because of this we get to make these fights and we get to see these fights because I don't believe that these guys are scared to fight one another. I refuse to believe that. I just believe that the opportunity to do it in a spectrum that allows for the businesses to make the money that they're accustomed to make has not yet been bridged together. And I think this might be the bridging that we get to see those fights because everybody wants to see fights.
I think when you get to that level, it's up for the B side guys to prove themselves in the eyes of the public. That a lot of times, we as hardcore fans, we be thinking guys is in position and they should get the fight. And definitely like with the Devin and Tank situation, when Devin had all the belts and me as a Tank fan, I wanted Tank to fight Devin for all the belts. I wanted to see Tank with all the belts. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it hot. But see that like which everybody understand the same thing. The business had to make sense. So these guys like Shakur, Devin, Ryan had so much popularity that's why that fight with Tank was made. So these guys, it's up to them. It's up to them and it's up to their promoters. We've heard Bob Arum come out in the past say certain guys wasn't promoted right. He said Devin wasn't promoted right. Um, Devin was in position to fight Loma, when he was like 19, 20 years old. But Bob Arum wasn't trying to make the fight at that point because there wasn't no money in the fight. So these guys, so it's up to Shakur, man. It's up to whoever now. Like we all gonna know. I know the counter argument will be, well, who is Frank Martin, who is Rowley, and all these other guys, or whatever the case may be. The company that you fight for has the right to make in-house fights. We can't knock them because Shakur has won a lot of vacant titles, and those are the fights that his company has put him in with. So we can't knock Tank for fighting in-house fights. That's just what they do. But if you want to make a crossroads fight, your star needs to be big enough where everybody, where the fans are saying the fight is ready, because that means because they gonna buy it if it's ready. But if it ain't ready, then all they're gonna say is once you get in there and you get beat up on, they're not gonna get an A-side guy no credit, and then they're gonna say it was too soon for you.
See, that's my problem though. Is the too soon thing has got to be. It got to stop that moniker, because I'm tired of waiting until they 31, 32, and you put them in there with a live dog, and then they really show you that they're kitten. Like, I don't want that. Let me see what you got at 24, 25 years old. Now I can figure out if I want to follow you for 5, 6, 10 more years. Put them in there.
But
Yeah.
Remo, the only thing I'm gonna say is this: are you gonna take whatever your market value determines at that age? See, Shakur. See, that's the thing that people not getting. They got a whole team behind them that has to get paid off the facilitation of the fight. So if they can't put that guy up in there, if they're not gonna have no return on investment. So that's the only thing. These guys got to generate the amount of revenue that make it make sense. For
Okay, all right,
that's
all
why
right.
Al told Devin and them, we'll call you. We'll call you when we ready to make the fight. And I mean that's understandable. It's because these guys are running a business.
But
So yep.
B3, these dudes that are the marquee guys are fighting 1 to 2 times a year, maybe 3 at the most. You really get that, right? If you really concerned about funding your family and all that, you wouldn't look to fight 4 or 5 times a year. It's 12 months in a year. If you're not really taking the beating, what's your reason? What's your core reason for not fighting 4 times a year? Realistically, who he really breaking his hand on, and who really putting a whooping on him?
But here's the thing though, Remo. We only see the end product. These got those training camps, that's wear and tear on the body. So if you my promoter, you're not gonna want me in there 4 times a year with 4 killers, because it comes to a certain point where let's say for instance the fans, if you take it, let's say if Tank go up and fight Shakur, or let's say Tank fight Devin, the fans not gonna want Tank to fight Frank Martin. They gonna be like, why are you taking a step back to Frank Martin? Like with Devin's situation, we was talking about this the other day. Once you in the mix, you in the mix. So it ain't gonna be no. That's why it's a 6 or 7 fight deal. I promise you, it's gonna be 6 or 7 good fights. Now they gonna have to strategically match them, but they can't. You can't backtrack. So you can't go from Shakur to Frank. You got to go from Frank to Shakur. So
All
that's
right,
that's
but
just the
but but
business
but,
model.
but you saying that, right? So now, all right, let's take an instance for Shakur right now. Shakur is taking a step back. We would say from the, yeah, you won, from the projection that we anticipating. He should be taking a step towards what? What should be his next one right now after the Edwin? He then got the belt with Edwin. His next one shouldn't be the dude that lost to Frank.
100. Hey, I agree with you, but it's a difference. So see, we can. It's like the conversation is getting a little confused. So Shakur is in a stay busy fight.
No,
Shakur,
no, no,
these
but no, no,
guys.
but B3. Before you even get to that, my bad. But
Go
before you
ahead.
even get to that, but that's what I was saying. If you fighting 3, 4 times a year, everyone don't gotta be a banger. If you putting on for your family and you bringing money to the situation for
My
for for
but
who for
here's
who
the
you
only
got
thing,
behind
Remo.
you.
Your price don't go down though. I gotta pay you the same, if not more. You see what I'm saying? So
No, he shot, but his contracts that are put on the table that he
that's what
said
I'm saying. That's
are,
Shakur.
but
That's
no, I'm saying,
Shakur.
but his
Yeah, that's not
situations
Tank.
don't, but it don't change whether who he fight though. Let's say like what was presented. It was what? Well, 3 years, 12 million. It didn't have 12 million along with names.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. It was like a 5-fight, $15 million, so like
Yeah,
$3 million a fight.
Bob ain't worrying about incentives with these dudes because he's not trying to put them to be bigger than what he is. And he's taking the money that he's giving them is allotted by ESPN and TV money. That's why he's stuffing them in between NASCAR weekend. He's stuffing them in between PGA tours and all this other shit. He's not putting up no money for that. That's why you're getting them on Thursdays and Wednesdays and weird days like that. That's funded money that's already there.
Yeah,
I got a question.
go
I got
ahead.
a question for the panel, real quick. Tank had a 6 or 7 fight deal at 135. Name his 6 or 7 opponents that would be worthy to get in the ring with him without going to grab a 140 pounder. Them guys that move up to 140, let's count them out.
So I can answer that perfectly. But Coach Eddie, you already know it's going to depend on the market at that given time, at that given point in time when the fight is being ready to be made. You see what I'm saying? So these guys still had an opportunity to earn that fight. So let's just say the first fight is Frank, right? The second fight, it could potentially be a unification. Maybe Navarrete has is able to get that fight, and the people support Navarrete. So maybe Tank Navarrete, and then they let Shakur and Loma fight, and then Tank will get the winner. So it'll be Frank, Navarrete, then Shakur. Now that'll be 3 good fights. Now maybe Keyshawn, Andy Cruz, and those guys can work something out to where they'll fight, and then the winner of that fight will get Tank. You see what I'm saying? So that's the plan right there. So the fans and the marketing, everything will be in line. If it went that way, if we saying just strictly 135, not bringing nobody up and not moving up, it's got to just work out in a strategic manner. You can't fight your the best person first and then you backtrack. That's all I'm saying with it. He gonna have to progressively move up through the through the
D3.
process based on whatever people whatever the fans want.
He said, "Say them names, D3. Say them names." That's what he said. Say them names.
Yeah.
So I got
Go ahead, bro.
I got Loma, Shakur, Zepeda. If you want to say Keyshawn, and on the short list, maybe an Andy. If it's going to be
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you had kind of fell off for a minute there for about 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I think everybody, because I looked at the chat and D said y'all there. Remo, you was talking. You was doing your breakdown. Did you finish?
nah, my wife be calling me and what I be cooking, man. But I was saying who I said
I think you said Loma. Start off with Lomachenko or something, man.
yeah, I think Loma would be the first priority if I was to be cooking over there, right? Then you got Navarrete. Who he fighting right now? He about to fight somebody, right?
He fighting Baranchik for the title next week.
Okay, well you put those two. You could put Williams Zepeda on that list. You could put Shakur on that list. If you want to put Keyshawn and Andy Cruz with the Frank, that'll put you at like what 6, and then I'll leave that 7 for like somebody like Tio.
But you gotta remember Tio at 140 though, man.
No, I'm saying, but at that point in time, if you get to 6 fights, Tank fight 2 times a year, that'll put him at 33.
Yeah,
He about to be 30.
at that point, he cleaned out the division.
That's what I'm saying. It's time for him to move up. Because literally, if he stay there for another 3 years, per se, he's in a whole nother time frame of Abdullah's going to be who he is, and he might even go up at that point in time because these kids be growing quick. He really 5'5" in real life.
Yeah, me personally, I don't want to see anybody at 140 calling out Tank. I wouldn't even mention his name because I'm at 140. I'm gonna let him mention my name. I'm not going down to fight, in a different weight class. I'm at 140. If you want to fight me, come up. Otherwise, I'm not mentioning your name. I'm not entertaining anything because I'm in a different weight division. I just wish these guys would understand that if
But
you're in a
that
different,
ain't the reality though, Coach. That ain't
but
really the reality.
they need to chill on that. I mean, these dudes like Devin Haney, I wouldn't even mention Tank's name. I'm basically a junior middleweight. I'm
Yeah,
coming in the ring at one.
there's only
I'm coming
one.
in
There's only one. The only one is the last one I mentioned, and that's Tio, because Tio has
yeah.
never made a full 140 yet. And he be looking small in there versus the 140 pounders. It's just that his athleticism from 35 really helps him because he don't have the power from the 35 to take up the 40. Realistically.
Yeah. And then even like you said something about marking, like even with Boots, I'm not kind of afraid he's gonna fall by the wayside because I mean the guy's a tremendous talent, man, but he's not really getting his name out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey, Coach,
yeah.
I think we gotta hold off on Boots, and here's why. Eddie just put that money up for this fight against Crawley, right? I don't know about Barrios but I know one thing is for sure. Stanionis want that work. So as long Boots can definitely get that fight with Stanionis, but I agree with you. He's not gonna be able to stay at 147 for too long. I don't think he's gonna be able to get Santillian and Barrios in the ring and Stanionis. I think he'll have to move up to 54 at some point. But as long as he can get a unification, that'd be the key for Boots. He just need to be able to cement himself at 147, so that way when he does move up, he'll at least have two titles, and then he'll be able to move up and fight somebody a name at 54.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
It's just gonna be difficult to get it's gonna be difficult to get all the belts one by one. You gotta have a Julius and Dongo type of situation. You see what I'm saying? Like who nobody knew really who Julius was like that, but he had two belts. So Top
True
Rank was like,
sports
yeah,
talk
let me go ahead
too.
and get that fight. You know what I mean? It's
Yo,
gonna be difficult for Boost to get like three,
much
four
like
fights.
much like the situation for Boots, I think the same is going to be said for Tank. I think that he's got more action at 140 than so he has at 135. Likewise for Boots, I think 154 is a sweet spot for him right now with the action, as opposed to 147. He's already finding it difficult to get the fights at 147. So like naturally, you want him to get as many opportunities at 47 as possible, but go out there where the smoke is there because he's looking for the smoke. So I think that Tank definitely, Cepeda might be a go. Loma definitely a go because he said his name twice. Shakur is definitely a go because he said he's up in there. I think that everybody else at 35 is a stretch right now. I think that if Keyshawn is to fight him, it's going to be at 40. But I don't know if that's somebody that he really views as one of the people that he need to fight because this is who people say I should be fighting. I think the Matiases of the world. I think the Tios of the world. I think that the Devin Haneys of the world, they on that list. And then I don't know who the other two will be, but I believe he fully intends on getting as many as he can right there at 135 and then moving up and finishing the rest at 140 and then shutting it
But
down.
you got to remember what Tank said though, man. He said this. If Tank moves up 140, he's putting rehydration clauses on everybody. He's doing this training day. I'm putting rehydration clause on all y'all. And that's what it is. So now we're gonna deal with that. Well, Tank didn't fight the man at his best because he put a rehydration clause. Tank said if he do the rematch with Ryan Garcia, he put a rehydration clause on him. He said it out of his mouth. He said he ain't letting him get no bigger than 152. So if you put rehydration clauses on guys, you need to stay out of the division, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I look at it. You stay at 135. Don't go
Coach
up to
Eddie.
140 and then start putting rehydration clauses on people.
Coach Eddie.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic though. Ryan was calling him out. He was calling him out, told him he want to run it back.
He should know. I mean, Ryan's a bigger guy. I wouldn't call Tank out. I'm freaking 170 pounds, man. I'm not calling this little guy out, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Ryan ready to fight somebody at 54. Would it be reminiscent if he like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, we can fight again if you really want to run it back, but you know what I mean? We're gonna meet at a weight that makes sense for me as well. He about to go play with somebody at 54. He even said 60 on the tweet. So would he be ignorant not to do that? Thank you.
I wouldn't take the fight if I was Ryan. I would just leave that alone, man. I said, I'm not killing myself. I'm not gonna, dehydrate myself to accommodate you. The man said he walked around 170, 175 pounds. Why the heck would you shrink your? I mean, I know you wanted the money and everything, man, but
that bread.
Why you gonna kill this? Yeah. Why you gonna kill yourself to make and deplete yourself, man? I don't see. You know what I'm saying?
That payola, baby. It comes with the territory, man.
Hey, Coach Eddie, these guys can take an L to Tank because it's like Michael Jordan beating you in the finals. It's like I mean, the shit. It is what it is. I mean,
fellas, I'm about to end this, man, so I can start working. So everybody, it's been a pleasure. Enjoyed y'all. We've been cooking like crazy. I'm gonna try to go back live in a minute, but right now I got to get to work, man. So
hey Jay, thanks for the platform, brother. Thank you.
It's your boy Jay Hardcore, Hardcore Boxing News, and I'm out of here.